glad into the party, too. 314-436-7900 is how you visit with us on the show by calling and texting. Voice messages on the Odyssey app. You can do that for free, and it's super, super easy. Also, that's where you go to listen to the show live, or you can stream the show live. If you're a visual learner and you'd like to see us, you can do that. We are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Please follow us on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Well, data centers are in the news again, and really, I guess they're kind of always going to be in the news. St. Charles pushing back the vote to potentially ban them, and a St. Louis City alderman is in favor of the data center close to the Armory. We are going to talk to Thomas Oldenburg at 11:30 today.
And Olympians continue to speak out and answer questions about tensions in the U.S. while the Olympic Games are going on. And Hunter Hess, the snowboarder, responded to President Trump, calling him a loser.
And the Billikens, not losers. They haven't lost since just after Thanksgiving, actually. They have climbed up in the AP poll. They're now at number 18. They'll play again on Friday. Don't forget that you can listen to every Billikens game here on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 9:06. We have a correction. I think he's a freestyle skier, Hunter Hess.
Nobody would have known.
Well, I know.
Nobody would have known if you had just...
I love these gosh darn Olympics, and I don't want to mess up.
Yeah, nobody would have cared. Like one bit. Not only would they not have known, but they wouldn't have cared. You made the correction. They went, okay, yeah. So, yes, we have a couple of things to give away during the show today. We have tickets to see Zach Bryan. He is coming to the Dome at America Center March 7th. So we'll be giving away tickets today and for the rest of the week. Also, remember those City Yeti refillable Rambler
like
tumblers?
The $85 ones?
I don't know how much they were. I can't remember. But you remember those?
Were expensive, yeah.
We're giving those away this week, too.
What?
Yeah, all week, starting today.
Those are the only approved cup that you can bring in and out of City Park and get refilled with, I think, water and soda for free.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, right? You buy it once and you never have to pay for it again.
Or win it once.
You win it once. You could win one today. You got to be listening for your chance to win. We're going to give away one per day for the rest of the week, and the Zach Bryan tickets. Got to be listening for your chance to win all of those, Amy.
That's right. And okay, so we talked a little bit about this yesterday about the athletes at the Olympic Games for Team USA being asked, is it complicated representing Team USA or wearing the American flag right now? And more athletes have answered that question as the games go on. And so here are a couple answers from Chloe Kim, a snowboarder, Maddie Mastro, a snowboarder, and Rich Ruhonen, a curler.
Obviously, my parents being immigrants, this one definitely hits pretty close to home. And I think in moments like these, it is really important for us to unite and kind of stand up for one another, for all that's going on. And I think that I'm really proud to represent the United States. The U.S. has given my family and I so much opportunity, but I also think that we are allowed to voice our opinions on what's going on. And I think that we need to lead with love and compassion. And I would love to see some more of that.
Proud to represent Team USA and my country. I'm also saddened with what's happening at home. It's really tough, and I feel like we can't turn a blind eye to that. But at the same time, I represent a country that has the same values as mine of kindness and compassion, and we come together in times of injustice.
My teammates said it perfectly, but I feel like the Olympics is the epitome of all countries and cultures coming together.
First of all, I'd like to say I'm proud to be here to represent Team USA and to represent our country. But we'd be remiss if we didn't at least mention what's going on in Minnesota and what a tough time it's been for everybody. This stuff is happening right around where we live. And what's happening in Minnesota is wrong. There's no shades of gray. It's clear. And I really love what's been happening there now with people coming out, showing the love, the compassion, integrity, and respect for others that they don't know and helping them out.
Ranj, I think I disagree with myself.
Okay.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot. I process things through talking them out. Yesterday I said that it kind of rubbed me the wrong way that reporters were asking Olympians, like, hey, is it complicated representing the United States right now? And I didn't know if it was the way the questions were phrased or the fact that, these athletes are in the middle of competition and we're in an environment right now that no matter what you say, you're going to get in trouble. Well, I think I disagree with myself because I'm not sure if I was being a little too protective of the athletes, if I underestimated the athletes, or maybe I was afraid that some would be like, I'm just ashamed to wear the stars and stripes. You know what I mean? And instead, I feel like the answers that we've gotten from these athletes are so eloquent, so beautiful, so patriotic. They're all so proud to represent Team USA. And I feel relieved in the sense that it is important for them to address it on a world stage and say, hey, the nonsense that's making the headlines, that's not who we are supposed to be as the United States.
They may not, it's possible they may not want to talk about it. It's also possible a lot of them really want to get it off their chests, that they have an opportunity. They know people are watching and this is their moment to do it. And yes, they've all been preparing for this athletically their whole lives. And maybe it was, I think it was probably just wanting to protect them, but I don't know that they need protection. That's what I would say, is that I don't think that they, in many cases, we're talking about millionaires now. I mean, people who have been making pretty good money and they are themselves a business because they're individual athletes in a lot of times individual sports, even though Olympics is a team sport, but these are individual sports, skiing and snowboarding. That's kind of what those are. So I think they are their own thing. And it's okay for them to be asked about world events, especially when the rest of the world, in particular Europe, is not especially happy with us.
Well,
and what do they think is going to happen? Americans are going to come there. They don't have an opportunity. Media in Europe does not usually have an opportunity to ask prominent Americans what they think about what is going on here and how they are being affected too.
And I think that's where I'm glad that we're seeing these prominent Americans speak about what we've seen, whether it's injustice or actions that are anti-American or run contrary to the values that are espoused in our Constitution and the Declaration. Slight devil's advocate here on why maybe I felt a little prickly at first. I do think it is fair to acknowledge that we do hold America to a high standard because of its ideals and values. And we're not necessarily, we're kind of picking and choosing who we ask, because we are not asking all the Chinese athletes, as I brought up yesterday, or even like Eileen Gu, who's American but is representing China in the Olympics. Do you feel that it's complicated holding up the Chinese flag when, as I mentioned, concentration camps or Beijing quells pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong by killing or imprisoning or torturing pro-democracy protesters? Or, countries where it's illegal to be gay, where you would be imprisoned or killed, or even Denmark's controversial immigration laws. I'm only bringing those up because technically you could ask that question of every athlete in the games if it's complicated to wear their flag or represent their flag. And I would say there are some pretty egregious human rights in countries, whether it's Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Kenya, Ghana, and China. But where we are right now, the American athletes do get asked these questions because of the prominence of America in the world. And I am not sad about it because I think they are handling themselves beautifully and showing that America is not all the braggadocio and putting everyone else down.
They're all giving deeply American ansers.
And they're proud. They've all said they're so proud.
Yes,
yeah.
We can all be proud to be Americans and not like everything that's going on. If you're somebody listening to this and thinking, well, you should stand behind America no matter what. I promise you that if the president you don't like is in charge, you're not standing behind everything America does during those 4 years or 8 years in office. I guarantee you're not. So I would not, don't say because your person is in office that therefore you got to back up everything that he says because he's my guy. That's not how this works. Being American means you can disagree with the president. You can disagree with Congress. You can disagree with policy. You can disagree with whoever you want to. That is part of being American. And yeah, I think around the world, the United States is held to a different standard, and it should be because we boast to everybody around the world how we are the greatest country in the world. And we give you freedoms, and we treat our people better than the rest of the world treats their people. So yeah, of course, when it starts to look like we're maybe not doing that so much anymore, people are going to ask us about it because it would be like us here on a very much smaller scale saying we're the best fans in baseball here. Cardinals fans are.
I was going to say the
and
best
now
fans in baseball.
We're the best fans in baseball. Well, what do you mean you're the best fans in baseball? You only had 20,000 people show up to the ballpark this year every game. Well, of course, people are going to ask us about it. We've been boasting about being the BFIB for 20 years. And now we're not showing up to the ballpark as much, and people are asking us about it. It's the exact same thing.
So we had a couple of texters.
And much lower stakes, but it is the exact same thing.
Hey, Ron, do you think it's complicated wearing that Cardinals hat right now?
I mean, a little. Yeah, I root for them. I want them to be better. I want the roster to be better right now.
We have a couple of texters who said, what if an athlete speaks out in favor of the actions of the government and ICE? Or are we willing to hear opinions from them?
And then we can disagree with them. And
yes, we are. The premise is not that we wouldn't. I'm not sure why the assumption is that we wouldn't be okay with it. Because remember, my original scruple was that they were asked about it in the first place. And I haven't heard any athletes yet saying that they were thrilled about what was going on, but I have only heard athletes say that they're proud to represent the United States. Sure. And that's beautiful to hear because, again, our country was designed for division and disagreement, and that's what democracy is. So if an athlete would say that they agreed with it, then that's their right to do that.
That's Amy Marks-Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. We hope that you will join in with what you feel. Tell us 314-436-7900 by texting in, or you can leave voice messages from the Odyssey app. The Cardinals also want you to know there's a flash sale going on today. It started at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock this morning. It goes from 9 until 9. There are $6 tickets for certain days of the week. I think it's Monday through Thursdays, and then there are some series that are $6 tickets. If you are interested, cardinals.com/flash sale.
And I think they're loaded with $6 of cards cash.
Yeah. So it's a pretty good deal right now. Deal. And it's a flash sale that's happening just today from 9 to 9. It's underway. Go get it. Cardinals.com/flash sale. That's really difficult to say. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
This is an important message for all parents of teens. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, and they have suffered from eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Disclosures by a Facebook whistleblower show Instagram and Facebook know their social media platforms were highly addictive and may have caused eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation. It appears these social media companies knew they had been causing serious harm to kids, but have done little to stop it. If your teen has been harmed by social media like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, then you could be eligible for significant compensation. If you'd like to discuss a lawsuit, text LEVEL to 323232. LEVEL to 323232. LEVEL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson, Media Advertising Specialists, LLC, is responsible for the content of this ad with principal offices in Chicago, Illinois.
The NFL playoffs are here, and Heed the Call NFL podcast with Dan Hanzus and Mark Sessler is your destination for coverage of every round, from Wild Card Weekend to Super Bowl Sunday.
Heed the Call covers every game, every storyline, everything that matters, and we have fun. No fake hot takes, just entertaining football talk from your favorite buds at the bar.
Wait, Mark, which bar?
Well, like the typical neighborhood bar where the witty sports guys at a place like that.
Ah, I like that. Follow and listen to Heed the Call wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at Amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. Who would have thought a car crash would have led to charities, TV shows, and cheering with the best fans in the world? I'm thankful for every day. And so are my friends at Renner Garage Door. They've been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. With help from trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, honest family-style service you can count on. So giddy up and get your free repair or replacement quote today. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
Hi, this is Steve Butts with the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. I know we're all experiencing sticker shock when you get your insurance premium. Now more than ever, you need an independent insurance agent to find the best value for your family's insurance needs. Crawford Butts, family owned and operated for more than 60 years. Please give us a call at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Dave. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free and 0% financing for 36 months, plus $500 off your project. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Well, again, thank you for texting in at 314-436-7900. Continuing our conversation from yesterday about Olympic athletes being asked about representing the United States. And to be honest, I thought that their responses, like I said, were eloquent, but also very, very benign, not taking shots at anybody, just saying, hey, we may not agree with everything, but I'm so proud to be an American, which to me is a great response. It's perfect. Here, Hunter Hess, the freestyle skier, who was called a loser by the president because Hunter Hess had given one of those answers about, it's complicated, but I'm proud to be an American. He responded on social media to President Trump's response, calling him a loser. Hess said, I love my country. There is so much that is great about America, but there are always things that could be better. One of the many things that makes this country so amazing is that we have the right and the freedom to point that out. The best part of the Olympics is that it brings people together. And when so many of us are divided, we need that more than ever. I cannot wait to represent Team USA next week when I compete. Thanks to everyone for their support.
That's about as perfect as it gets. He's exactly right.
And technically, that could be that could be anybody saying that.
Sure.
Because nobody agrees with everything the country is doing and all the policies 100% of the time. That's how non-personal it was, in the sense that he wasn't taking shots at anybody. It was just a very nice response.
Right. And as we had a couple of texters who said, what if you have an athlete who comes out in support of ICE? And I would say, well, it depends on the answer. I mean, are they saying that we have to do something about the border and it's good that we are addressing it in some way? Or are they saying, yeah, I'm glad they're going in and just tackling people without any due process and throwing them in vans and their families are having a difficult time getting a hold of them? If they said something like that, they have the freedom to do it, and they should have that freedom to do it. But I also have the freedom to say that's a really lousy take. And that's okay. If they want to make that point, they can make that point. So if you're asking us that question, is it okay if they do that? Sure. I mean, by our standards as a country, absolutely, they can make that point if they want to. This message from a 636 says, keep politics out of all sports, especially the Olympics. The beauty of our system is that we can change the system, at least in theory. And I appreciate the comment. What I would say is politics has never really been absent in sports, really ever. And especially the Olympics has been highly political many, many times. I went over some of the year, 1968, 1980, 1936, 1948. Germany and Japan weren't allowed in the Olympics. That's all highly political.
Very political, both good and bad. If you watch the Jesse Owens movie, right? I mean, that was all politics. Those were huge global statements. And that's an amazing moment about freedom and democracy and standing up to dictators and evil autocrats. But then also it's political in bad ways, because I think the IOC is corrupt and it's in bed with a lot of autocratic administrations like Putin and Xi Jinping. So, I mean, I'm not naive. We cannot be naive and think that the Olympics is not, in a lot of ways, pretty gross. Probably what happens behind the scenes with the IOC.
Yes.
So sports, especially the Olympics, are very political. But sports a lot of times are the tip of the spear for massive changes in cultures. You read David Halberstam's October 1964 about the Cardinals and Yankees World Series. Wow. You talk about cultural change in our country and the civil rights movement and gaining momentum, and what
McCarver used to talk about it.
Yeah, and what the black players faced. I mean, sports breaks ground throughout history.
Jacob is watching on YouTube. You can do the same. He says, keep politics out unless they're my politics. And you know what? That is as perfectly as you could say it, because that tends to be the case, that people like it when an athlete or a coach or somebody prominent in sports says what is on their mind, as long as it jives with what you think.
And as someone who often disagrees with herself, there is also sometimes what you feel. Maybe if you're like, oh, I just wish it weren't political. I think deep down you're like, yes, the athlete should take a stand or should be able to say what they think. What you might be emotionally feeling is just fatigue. Because sometimes you do feel a little political fatigue and you think, oh, I wish this would just end. But then if you stop, like, no, this is the moment in time in history, we're going to address it. But I get if you feel fatigued. It's just the reality is sports has always been political.
We're all fatigued.
Yeah.
I mean, my fatigue is I wish it wasn't so stupid. And it's been so stupid for a good decade, probably. And you could probably argue it's been longer than that. But I think it's been extremely tiresome in the last 8 years or so.
To your point, Ron, I don't know if this is helping me or making it worse, but I have seen some videos of politicians 10, 20, 30 years ago and what the dialogue was like at that time is very different.
Civil disagreement.
Yeah. I think it's depressing me. But I'm going to...
Because every time I see it, I go, oh, can we just do that again? Let's do that.
We're not saying it was perfect. I get it was not perfect, but we'll start playing some of that audio. Maybe we can make that a thing.
Odyssey app, leave us voice messages, text us your thoughts, or if you are watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, you can check in there, leave a comment. We'd like to hear from you. It's Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
The Missouri Valley Conference Men's Basketball Tournament has been the showcase for buzzer beaters, madness, and championship glory. With nearly 5 decades of heart-racing excitement, it begins here at Enterprise Center. The 2026 State Farm MVC Tournament, presented by Credit Union One, Great Southern Bank, and SSM Health, tips off on March 5th through 8th. Celebrate 50 years of the Valley's postseason championship. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. You know, there are real things to talk about. I am amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And I hope you'll tune in and join the happy hour.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
I'll tell you what, Ron, you blink, and the next thing you know, it's 59 degrees outside.
Whoa.
With lots of sunshine.
10 degrees away from perfection, you know?
Well, that's the high today, 64. You're never going to believe it.
Close enough.
Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 30.
Join us on February 15th at Powell Hall as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and St. Louis City SC brings us Eternal, a tribute to Tina Turner, presented by Purina, with special guests Brittany Howard of Alabama Shakes and Kennedy Holmes. Experience the ultimate journey through Tina's immortal catalog. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at slso.org.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up. There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
St. Louis has a voice.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history.
This is Harry Carey from the beautiful new Busch Memorial Stadium.
From moment to memory.
The case is on.
Among those voices, Bruce Bradley.
I felt better when Jimmy Carter was president, knowing that Rosalind Carter was around saying, "Now, Jimmy."
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Are you turning 65 or new to Medicare? Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first at Banner Construction. It's Banner Construction's winter home event, and you can be the first in line this spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella replacement windows specialist, and now is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or check them out on the web at bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
The Humane Society of Missouri's Day of Giving is happening now. Discover powerful stories of animals rescued from abuse and neglect and how compassion changes lives. Watch and donate at hsmo.org/dog. hsmo.org/dog.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinals spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season.
Listen for Matt's Reports Daily. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting and Happy Roof on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
At the hospital, I got checked out, and a scan confirmed everything was fine. So we were ready to meet little Zoe. but it was not straightforward. I was in labor for 60 hours. I felt something wasn't right.
So the
I
voice you're
insisted.
hearing is from a woman, and I'm about to air quote this, woman named Sarah. And she is featured in a documentary on Netflix that is out just a few days ago. And it is called The Investigations of Lucy Letby. And this is about a woman who was an ICU nurse, or no, she was she was a nurse for babies, like newborns in England.
I think this story did gain quite a bit of global attention. Because it's awful.
I vaguely remember this, and several of them died under her care, and then she went to prison for murder. For murdering multiple babies, and there's, I guess, some discrepancy in the investigations, and so that's what it is about. And I'm not so interested in the story. I mean, I am, but I cannot watch this documentary any longer. Last night, I got out the Netflix and I popped it on. I'm looking for something, and I am like many people these days. I get down with a little true crime stuff,
Which is just so people know, she was convicted of killing 7 babies,
right,
and attempting to kill 7 more.
Right. So that's what she's convicted of. There are people who say she's innocent and that the investigations weren't done properly. So,
but you're like, I'm going to watch this.
I'm going to watch this thing because I vaguely this sounds kind of familiar, this story. So let's see where it goes. I am 4.5 minutes into the documentary.
Okay.
And they show this woman, Sarah, who you just heard from, who was a mother whose baby I suppose was a victim. I'm looking at this woman as she's speaking, and I have this thought. I go, what? There's something wrong with her face.
Oh.
What is wrong with her face? And so, you know how they do the thing where you see the person being interviewed, then they cut away to some B-roll, then they go back to the person talking. So they show her maybe 4 or 5 times in between all this other footage.
Yeah.
And it becomes very clear to me that something is off about her.
Like, you're not talking about like a deformity. You're just saying her face looks weird.
Something's wrong.
Okay.
Something doesn't look right. So I go to Google, because Google is mine and your friend. And I type in the investigations of Lucy Letby, and immediately one of the first results is artificial intelligence. And I said, I knew it. It's not a real person that they are featuring in this documentary. That is an AI person.
So completely AI generated.
Completely AI generated. They are using anybody who has seen 48 Hours or Dateline or any true crime documentary. You have seen them interview people hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times in your life. This is the first time I have ever seen it where the person is not actually real. If they're trying to hide an identity, they do the voice changing thing and they black out the screen so you can't see the person. They do they're in a shadow or they blur the face just to protect their identity. This documentary has taken and created an entirely new person that represents somebody who is an actual victim in the story. So Sarah is a person, but her name is not Sarah. They've created it. It is
not her voice.
It's an avatar for a person. And so I'm looking at this woman's face, and I am struck by how fake it looks.
Because you said it was like her mouth, Drew. You were looking at her mouth and there was something off.
The best way I could describe this to you is anybody who is in the listening audience and who has played like Call of Duty or something, one of the more sophisticated video games in the last 10 to 15 years. And there's dialogue. You know, sometimes there'll be dialogue with 2 characters on the screen. In between the action where you're playing, there'll be characters on the screen speaking. Their mouths always look funny. They never look right. No matter how good the technology is, it always looks off. The speaking parts, it just never looks right. And that's what this woman's mouth looks like. So I did some reading on it, and it is apparently, and I guess at the very beginning of the documentary, there is a disclaimer that says that they've used artificial intelligence to
They
what
call
do they call it? Anonymizing?
Digitally anonymizing
Yes.
these people, which also
I missed that part because I was up and walking around and waiting for the thing to actually start, and then it started and I sat down. I missed the disclaimer, but 4.5 minutes in, I picked it out. I could see
But
it.
here's the thing. Even the phrase digitally anonymizing makes me think that they interviewed you, Chris Ranji. Your body was in the room.
Yeah.
And then they used AI to alter you in some way to make you not recognizable. Maybe your body was still there. I'm like, that's creepy. But that is not what this is at all. There was no body in that chair. That room doesn't exist. Nothing exists, just that. Or maybe the room exists, but the person doesn't exist. And I think I have the capabilities of maybe an 80-year-old to recognize AI. And I say this because young people tend to have sharper eyes when it comes to recognizing AI, whatever, faces. It might be like you said, you've played Call of Duty. You understand how, okay, this looks very real, but I can tell what's different. I've never played video games, and most of the AI I've seen is on Instagram, which also has filtered faces.
Yeah.
So sometimes you see real people with filters and their faces look weird. You're like, oh, it's just a filter.
Right.
So when I watched that video, I would not have caught it in 4.5 minutes. I'm bad at it.
Yeah.
But I can see I bet a lot of people might not catch that, at least not that quickly.
So here's my issue with it. And I know AI, we're not going to get rid of it. It's part of our lives now, and it will continue to metastasize. My problem with it is if you're going to do a whole AI movie or a TV show and everything is AI, okay, fine. But you're doing a documentary? Absolutely not. So my hope is that this project that is on Netflix gets so much backlash that these documentary filmmakers, anybody in the future, doesn't even attempt to do something like this, because it is really, really off-putting, especially in a story that is as terrible and sad as this one. They're using a fake person to stand in for a real person. That is insanity.
And
I hate it. I hate it, and it is so off-putting.
What about when they get better? Because they're going to get better. And I hope not. I hope that the mouth will always be an issue because it's difficult, right, to recreate the human face. But this is just such an opportunity for abuse where at first you think, oh, it's harmless. It's just a documentary. Oh, it's harmless. It's just a parody of something that's political. But what do you do when you're watching something, a movie, TV, and you don't know if the president or some other significant figure actually said what's being portrayed on the screen?
Yeah.
And what about being abused in autocratic countries like China, where they could say, hey, look what the U.S. is doing, and they're interviewing people. They have no idea it's AI.
What I don't like is that we are in now an era where every single video that gets shared on social media, I have to double check and see if it's real or not. I got to go find another source or, find somebody reputable who's put it out there because you can't trust any video anymore.
Even
that
stupid
is
videos.
a really bad spot for us to be. Yeah. Even a dumb video, like an animal doing something kind of cool. Yeah. You see it and you go, oh, that was awesome. Wait a minute. Is that real? And we didn't do that 5 years ago. That is a really lousy place to be. And we're never coming back from that. I don't see how it ever returns to normalcy. This is our new normal now. Matt, when I showed you the video this morning of the AI woman, how long did it take for you to notice, or would you have noticed if I didn't say something to you?
Not as quickly as I did with you having told me it was AI. It probably would have taken me 5 to 10 minutes, which I don't know if that's a long time or a short amount of time, because somebody who is easily fooled by it, that's probably quick. But for somebody who knows right away that it's AI, it's a long time. And you think about it, if it took 5 or 10 minutes for me to notice, like, that damage is already done.
Right.
If that's used in a worse situation, in a more deceptive situation. It was so weird.
Well, the damage is done for the documentary for me because I can't finish it.
No, I would not.
It's in my head now, and I know there's another character, so there's character. Sarah, who's the AI woman. There's another one named Maisie, I believe, in reading about this documentary that they have done the same thing to. So there are at least 2 people featured in the documentary that aren't real.
And we are
I can't watch it now, even though I am interested in the story.
We're unleashing this technology at the worst possible time, because going back to 10, 15, 20 years, but especially the last 10 years, we entered into what I'm pretty comfortable calling the post-truth society, right? Where truth is what you choose it to be. It could be individual, but also in the politics as entertainment industrial complex, where you can pick that station, that person to get my news from, because I want a truth that I agree with. I don't want the truth. I want something that I agree with. So you already have people picking and choosing what truth they want to follow. And now you're injecting this AI technology.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we were ever in a post-truth society before, we certainly are now. That it is scary, and you do have to, double check everything. Why would someone take the time to make a AI video about a cute cat? Because they are, and it gets clicks.
We keep talking about this stupid era of politics and reality, and at some point the fever has to break. Here's my concern is that because of what you're talking about, being able to be selective about where you get your news, and whatever it is you're looking for, whatever it is you have already decided, you can find somebody who's confirming that for you.
Yeah.
It's not like when there were 3 networks, 3 news stations, that's it.
Well,
this is now the kind of thing where you've got 100,000 different places that you can get your news and have your thoughts already confirmed for you. I don't know how we ever come back from that.
And again, it's technology. Even something like Twitter, I think, was hugely damaging, because some stigmas are good. What do I mean by that? If you're a racist, it's, yes, you can say terrible things. The ACLU tells you that with free speech, it protects terrible things. But there's a stigma that goes with it, where you should be kind of like, everyone should be grossed out by you, ostracized. You're a fool for being racist. But then you have something like Twitter, where you get really weird alt-right, who is that kid, the super racist kid that got kicked out of CPAC even?
Is it Nick Fuentes?
Yes.
Oh.
Where a guy like that can suddenly get a following on Twitter. And you might have some rando tweet something terrible, but then a senator responds and says, that's terrible. Well, guess what? Now you've legitimized that terrible comment and that Twitter handle, because it got a response from a guy with a big platform that otherwise you never would have had an audience with a senator. But Twitter gives you that audience, and then all the gross people can follow Nick Fuentes, and suddenly he's got a following instead of having to crawl through tunnels to find him.
It was better when these,
like in the sewers where they belong. But yeah,
that's right.
It has given a platform to gross ideas, racist ideas, prejudiced ideas that should normally be stigmatized, but they're able to find each other.
There's a lot of good that can come from it, but also in a way, it kind of used to be better when the weirdos had to resort to printing out their own stupid newsletter and trying to find an audience.
Yes.
Nick Fuentes back in the day he'd have been on the street corner on a box talking to people who were ignoring him.
Yes.
And
he
now
should never
he's
have the
prominent.
audience of senators or millions of people.
But you can also do your part like I did and click the old thumbs down icon on the Netflix documentary investigation of Lucy Letby. Let Netflix know, don't pull this AI crap in documentaries. You could take that and stuff it.
Puff it out and throw it in the river.
That's what Matt Pauley says. Did you see this? Next on KMOX.
It seems like this weather is going to continue. The cold weather is going to continue here in St. Louis and Illinois for the foreseeable future to finish out the winter. Now, if you have been unlucky, or you don't want to wait till you're unlucky and you need your furnace fixed or even replaced, call me. We can get your furnace next day. Sometimes we, depending on the manufacturer, it's not us, but just depending on the manufacturer, if they have the parts available, and here in St. Louis, Illinois, we can get you that day. But either way, if you're having problems with the furnace or you want to prevent problems with the furnace, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number, the easiest number in Missouri and Illinois, just one number. That number is 314-293-2600. Again, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it's Bart Inman. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Every spring brings promises, and every spring delivers surprises. This year, the Cardinals are writing a new story, and there will be plenty of surprises. Matt Pauley is in Jupiter with inside access to Camp Cardinals.
Presented by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens and making memories. And Happy Roof. We always create happy endings.
From breakout performances to roster revelations, get reports throughout the day on the voice of the Cardinals. KMOX.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex, and you can pick that up at supplement superstores. And quite simply, 213 Complex is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it's doing for me and what it'll do for you. Boost the metabolism, gets it working at full go all the time. Helps with cravings, and man, that's a big deal for me. All-day focus energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. It's a great tool for achieving your goals. Get out to supplement superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They will knock 30% off your 213 Complex, and you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Barnes Jewish Hospital and WashU Medicine physicians have long been leaders in heart and vascular care. Now, we're taking the patient experience to another level by opening our new state-of-the-art patient tower, designed specifically with heart patients in mind. By combining the latest technology with thoughtful design and private rooms, heart patients can experience faster healing, reduce stress, and improved outcomes. Learn more at barnesjewish.org/heart.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Well, Ron, I know you were super excited about Elon Musk and SpaceX colonizing Mars.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
If he was going to go there, yes.
Well, he would be the colonizer on
yes.
Mars.
Yeah, go colonize Mars, Elon.
Well, he said he was going to send an unmanned rocket to Mars by 2027. But I guess because they realized it was 2026, he has pivoted. He would now he's going to the moon instead. of Mars. So he's refocusing on building a self-growing city on the moon. I'm picturing where you add water and it grows, but a self-growing city on the moon, which he said could be achieved within a decade. Meanwhile, his Mars colony, he thinks, is at least 20 years away.
Okay. What is the show? The Expanse. You ever seen The Expanse on Amazon? It was on Prime a couple of, maybe 5 years ago or so. Okay. Really good sci-fi show. I don't know how I got turned on to it, but somebody told me about it. I started watching it. Really, really good. They have colonized Mars and they've colonized the moon already. And there are different factions of people, like Mars people. It's been years. It's been going on for like a couple 100 years. Mars people hate Earth. It's so funny. It's such a great show.
That's pretty good.
That's what we're headed toward. But not in 20 years, dumb. He might be the dumbest genius I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Alleged genius.
Well.
Hey, did you, I know you saw the halftime show, Bad Bunny's halftime show, Benito. Yeah. Well, it didn't go over well with everybody, as you know.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I know you know Andy Ogles, a Republican congressman from Tennessee's 5th District. Well, he is demanding that after Sunday night's Super Bowl broadcast, that Bad Bunny be investigated.
Oh.
For featuring explicit and indecent language.
Well, I think it was explicit. We just didn't understand it.
How is it explicit?
Well, I looked up the lyrics to one of the songs. I think.
Yeah, but did we look up the lyrics of what he actually said when he was there?
No, and that's the thing, because sometimes they change the lyrics.
Correct. They always do when they do a live performance.
So I don't know. But I mean, it's ridiculous. There have been explicit lyrics. Again, I actually saw, there's this guy I love. It's called the Holy Post podcast, but he did a really good job. He said he loved the Bad Bunny show in the sense of like sharing his culture and like it was such an homage to Puerto Rico and the Americas, and it was really fun to share cultures that he brought us into his world, which was beautiful.
Cool. Yep.
And he said, and you can absolutely love that and say, I'm not really into, sexually explicit lyrics. He's like, some of the lyrics, they objectify women, like a lot of rap songs do. And he's like, and you can say that. That's okay. That conversation that guy is having is totally different than people just picking on Bad Bunny because he speaks Spanish.
Well, Andy Ogles issued a public statement. He says Congress should investigate.
Are they going to investigate Kid Rock's lyrics?
Oh, no. Kid Rock has always been family friendly.
Are you sure?
Yeah, since the 90s.
I believe the quote was that he likes them young. Some call that statutory. He calls it mandatory.
No. That's, family friendly. Come on. What's the matter with you? How can you not see that, Amy?
At any rate, David French, he tweeted, he goes, because I think Megyn Kelly was like, football is ours. She was yelling. He goes, more than anything else, it's just kind of weird. It's weird how outraged people are.
Just real quick, before we hit the break here, either Megyn Kelly is straight up lunatic or she is really playing it for money.
I think something happened.
Something must have happened to her because she's always been kind of out there, but now she is off the deep end, bro. Yeah. Dave Simons, partner and managing director of One Private Wealth, will join the show when we come back. The first jobs report of the year is expected tomorrow. The Dow has gone up over 50,000. What does it mean? We'll talk to Dave when we come back on KMOX.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. After my husband died, the last thing I wanted to think about was money. Ethos made it affordable to get life insurance. Signing up was fast and 100% online. I knew that I could pay our mortgage and have food in the fridge. I could focus on my kids. No one ever tells you how much you're going to depend on that policy. I am so grateful we had coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here again. Over the years, I've seen way too many timeshare exit companies pop up, take folks' money, and disappear. I just saw an ad from an exit company started by a couple of bozos that used to work for me. My advice, don't hire bozos out fire. Want out of your timeshare? I'll send you our free timeshare exit info kit explaining your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free kit. 800-329-3737. That's 800-329-3737.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
It is now 10:01. We've got sunny skies, 58 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. President Trump has said now he had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's sex crimes, but the Epstein files suggest otherwise. We get more from CBS News correspondent Michael Wallace.
The Miami Herald points to a 2019 FBI interview with former Palm Beach, Florida police chief Michael Ryder. Ryder said in July 2006, as the criminal sex charge against Epstein became public, Mr. Trump called him to tell him Epstein's activities with teenage girls were well known in both Palm Beach and New York. Ryder also told the FBI Trump warned him Ghislaine Maxwell was Epstein's evil operative and to focus on her.
Buckingham Palace says that King Charles is ready to support a police investigation into his brother Andrew's links to the Epstein files.
Multiple people here have remarked to me that public figures, the rich and the powerful in the UK, are being held to account for their ties to Epstein and suffering real consequences. But they do not see the same thing happening in the US.
Republican Senator Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming said after seeing yesterday's unredacted Epstein files, she said, initially my reaction was, I don't care. I don't know what the big deal is. But now I see what the big deal is. It's worth investigating. She was especially shocked about mentions of 9-year-old victims. An Illinois daycare worker is accused of giving toddlers laxatives so they'd get sick and have to go home. The 23-year-old told Chicago police she felt overwhelmed. A number of kids complained of persistent stomach issues before an investigation began. The woman is charged with attempted aggravated battery and endangering the life or health of a child. Charges are pending in St. Clair County after a shooting in the parking lot of a Sauget strip club. Sauget Police Chief James Jones tells Fox 2 a man in his late 20s was arrested overnight for wounding a 26-year-old man outside Diamond Cabaret. Chief Jones says the shooting resulted from some sort of argument between the two men inside the club. The victim is said to be in good condition. Democratic leaders say a proposal from the White House is incomplete and insufficient as they're demanding new restrictions on President Trump's immigration crackdown. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer and House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries say a White House counterproposal doesn't address the concerns Americans have about ICE's lawless conduct. From the KMOX business desk, Illinois Governor Pritzker paid a visit to Granite City Monday to kick off the state's Route 66 centennial celebration.
Some just drive for the weekend here, frequenting local small businesses and tourist destinations. That tourism has driven significant growth and prosperity. Others have driven up Route 66 in search of a new home.
The state of Illinois is spending $4 million in grant funding to create and promote events and attractions for the big Route 66 anniversary.
Plenty of sunshine and quite mild this afternoon, high 64, partly cloudy and gradually turning colder tonight, though 29. Mostly sunny tomorrow and cooler, high 52. Thursday, mostly cloudy. There's a chance of an afternoon shower, high 51. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
It's 58 degrees out there right now, and the weather is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. 100 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors. For same-day repair service and no extra charge for evening or Saturday service, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Cardinal Cowboy here. Renner Garage Door has you covered. Renner's been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. RennerDoorSTL.com.
RENNER. Chris Ranchi, Amy Mark scores because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Time to talk to Dave Simons, partner and managing director of One Private Wealth, with us on KMOX, hour 2 of 3 of the Chris and Amy Show. We have giveaways, Zach Bryan tickets to give away before the show is over, and the City Yeti refillable Rambler. We're going to give away one of those today, and we're giving them away all week here on the show. Dave Simons is with us. How you doing, Dave?
Well, I'm good, Chris. You know, can I get a little sympathy vote? I'm under the weather, and you know us guys, we don't do well with that. The women are always stronger. My wife
you'll be all right.
Yeah,
I guess.
Dave, you know the saying is that God gave man the common cold so they would know what childbirth was like.
It's true.
Oh, since I was right there with my wife 2 times during birth.
Oof.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel right now with my cold.
You're really persevering.
Yes,
You really
I'm
are.
going to make it. I'm going to make it.
You'll be a Hacksaw Ridge over here. He's just really powering through. Everything's the world's against him, and he's going to make it.
Aw.
Dave, we are obviously, we've talked about the Olympics. They are underway. And one interesting note about the Olympics this year, because of the price of gold and silver, that these are the most expensive medals ever. The ones that are being given out to athletes. And we had a texter who wants to know about the price of silver and if it's still a good investment. Is it going to keep going up from here? So what are your thoughts on gold and silver right now?
Yeah, you know, I said this, I believe, last week or the week before, that I, in full disclosure, personally own silver, and I've owned gold for many, many years. I haven't sold any of that. That's not a recommendation for anyone in particular. I just keep it for kind of that supposed safe money. If the world goes to heck in a handbasket, okay, gold should hold up its value and then some. Silver's kind of more of a play thing, and I did pare back a little bit. Got lucky, I guess, near its highs, but I still have a majority of it. So look, the way that our federal debt continues to grow, in fact, not just here in the U.S., but around the world, it's not a bad idea to own these inflation hedges. I can't tell you how much or anything like that. You talk to your advisor on that, but there's nothing wrong with having a little portion, even at these elevated prices. Although they're down, you know, silver, as you may know, corrected big time. It deserved to. The price had gone parabolic. It was ridiculous. I had said a couple of weeks ago on this show, hey, be careful buying it here at 120. Well, yeah, now it's down significantly.
But that's one of those things where, one, you can wait it out, but being down, like, it's never going down where it's never going to become worthless. The trajectory is always moving up.
Yeah, it's not Bitcoin.
Yes.
Which is a whole other thing. I mean, a lot of people really advertise Bitcoin as another form of gold. That was the big thing you heard 8 and 10 years ago. Well, that's foolish. It's not. I'm not saying, knock yourself out, do with Bitcoin what you want. But if you want a true historic inflation hedge that has acted in that realm for thousands of years. Yes, you own these commodities like silver and gold, and when prices go up, if you want to pare back a little bit, but it's not going to zero. Let's put it that way.
What do we expect to happen with the first jobs report this year?
Yeah, that's tomorrow. It's a great question, Chris, because from what I can tell, the analysts who really follow it are expecting more of the same. It's kind of this low hire, low fire economy. It's something really interesting that we haven't really seen. It's just kind of, we're stuck. We're still growing at about 50,000 jobs a month. And that's the consensus estimate that we'll get tomorrow. But let me tell you, on Friday is another important report. And this market is really being driven by headline news right now. So this market could get real volatile Wednesday through Friday. If that jobs number shows an extreme one way or the other, and then on Friday, we get the inflation number, and it let's say doesn't come into anywhere where inflation is running now at 2.7%. Let me just put it this way. I don't think the market's going to finish Friday where it is today. It's either going to be nicely higher. We're going to probably sell off a little bit, depending on what these reports look like.
Yeah, and just kind of leaning into that low hire, low fire, that basically the employment rate isn't that bad. It looks good, but also it's very difficult to find a job. So recent federal data shows that job searches now last an average of 6 months. There were more job seekers than job openings last summer for the first time since 2021, and the economy added the fewest jobs since 2003 last year outside of recessions.
Yeah, there are a lot of folks, you may know some of them, who look, I've got a job. It's putting food on the table. I'm paying my bills. I'm not overly thrilled with it. I've been sending out resumes. Man, nothing is just clicking there. So to your point, Amy, that the unemployment rate is not going higher. Although some big companies we've seen that, in the news, like Amazon and whatnot, have laid off tens of thousands of people, but it's not enough to really spike that number higher. If we get to tomorrow and we don't create another 50,000 jobs and the unemployment rate starts to go higher, it kind of counterintuitively, the market might actually go higher on some poor economic news for this reason. It will tell the Fed, you better start cutting rates. Forget about all this stuff sitting here. The economy may not be so hot. Well, when you cut rates, that can start to juice the economy a little bit. So this is going to be really interesting to see how this plays out tomorrow.
So I have seen a report, and I don't know how accurate this is. This is just pure speculation that OpenAI, one of the artificial intelligence companies, could potentially run out of money by the middle of next year. And we talk about, this technology, and a lot of money is in it right now. And is this a bubble that's waiting to burst? When you see something like that, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, Chris, I lived through this as an investment advisor, even back in the late 90s. So I've got some experience here when there was so much hype over this new thing called the internet, and everybody and his brother was coming out with a new company and putting a .com on it, and they were getting all kinds of money, and then the money dried up. And a lot of these companies weren't turning any profits, and they couldn't get any more investors, and the whole thing unraveled. We are not at that level today. But let's say if this were to continue for another year or two, I would be very concerned of a major bubble like 99 and 2000. What will AI look like 5 years from now in terms of what companies survive and which ones don't? It'll be major. And that's going to be up to investors to figure out which ones will survive, which will be the Amazon, one of the few .com stocks to survive the carnage of 25 years ago and come out on the other side where most of them went under. I think you're going to find some of the same thing. I think just stick with the big names. That's what I'm telling people. Stick with the big names that are out there that are involved in AI. Be very careful by taking flyers on some of these newer companies come out that are piling on a lot of debt and need a lot of capital to survive, because one day that will end.
Dave, this is kind of a messy question because I feel like the intricacies of it are far above my pay grade. But when you're looking at immigration or ICE raids or workers that are here that are documented but feel nervous, or workers that are here working that are undocumented. How does that, if at all, play into the jobs numbers?
Yes, specific industries. I was just reading in the Wall Street Journal this morning some housing complexes in Texas that have just dried up. Huge neighborhoods where they were built. Texas has been a very hot state economically speaking, a lot of new homes going up. And there are some major development projects that have just literally stopped. And they interviewed one developer who said, I cannot get Hispanic Mexican workers here, which in a way he's implying, I admit I've got some that are probably illegals, but hey, the secret's out. Everyone's saying the quiet part out loud. That's a big part of the economy. Now, people are going to come out on both sides of that argument, right? What's right and what's not. I just stick and stay in my lane, which to your question is from an economic standpoint. And yes, there are some industries that are really struggling right now, although it probably, Amy, is not going to show up on the unemployment numbers because a lot of these people work underneath the surface, away from the light, if you will.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We've seen farmers. I just saw an interview about a month or two ago of a farmer who says even if we raise wages, we're still not getting natural born people to want to take those jobs. They just don't.
That's it.
They don't want to do them. So in an industry that is like that, how do you? I don't know. Maybe this isn't a question that you can answer, but how do you get by if you rely on people who come from somewhere else? Because natural born people, no matter how much you pay, don't want to do the hard back-breaking labor.
Well, you don't. You are literally going to have some of these companies go out of business. And that begs the bigger issue here, guys. And that is we need, I think everybody agrees with this, no matter what side of the political aisle you reside. We need major immigration reform. And so all of these people that we know, no matter what the administration says, the vast majority are not criminals. They are coming here to try to work, make something better of themselves. Did they come here illegally? Yes. So again, you talk about above our pay grade. It is above ours collectively. But I think that we would all agree that we need to do a better job in this country of letting people in legally, expediting the process, making sure that they are integrated into the American way of life. And we're getting into some really big social issues here. It can be done if we have the political will to do it, but it's going to take a few years, and we're going to see some disruptions probably along the way to get there.
Dave, I know that huge topic there. I would love to talk more, but while we have you, I want to also ask about the increased minimum wage, how, across the country, different states are raising minimum wages. And we actually saw a bill that was proposed here in Missouri that would lower the minimum wage for minors from $15 an hour to $12.30, just to make those super low level first time jobs a little bit more affordable for small businesses. Is that taking on hell with a water pistol, or is there something to be said for that?
Well, this is where my fiscal conservative bona fides start to come out here a little bit. Every study has shown that dramatically raising the minimum wage, we're not talking about raising it a little bit here and there to keep up with inflation, but states that say, oh, we have it at $10 and overnight we're going to raise it to 25. I mean, there have been some extreme examples, is horrible for that local economy. It drives small mom and pop businesses out. It even hurts the big fast food chains that have moved out of some of these cities, like in California, because they just can't afford to do business. I am really a free market capitalist to say, what if you didn't have any minimum wage? My first job, I'm going to date myself here, back in the 70s, I made $1.25 an hour. And that wasn't even minimum wage, by the way, at that time. But I did what I could in high school. And did that tell me that that's what I wanted to do for life? No, the minimum wage, honestly, guys, was never meant to be a career. It was to be a foothold into the labor market to make some money while you are moving up the ladder. Now, it's not always easy for a lot of people. I get it. We don't have near enough time on this show to get into the intricacies of this. But I am not a huge fan of dramatically raising a minimum wage because it hurts ends up hurting the very people you're trying to help.
Yeah, we could talk about this a lot longer. I wish we didn't have to go because I know the job market is just different now than it was in the 70s.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
so it's kind of
absolutely.
hard to, some people have to get those minimum wage gigs because there's nothing
And
else.
I was wearing my corduroy shorts back in those days too.
I bet
so
they were.
everything is
Corduroy
different.
shorts.
Oh.
I didn't even know they
Yes.
made corduroy
You
shorts.
didn't?
No, isn't corduroy a winter material?
Well,
Anything could be a summer material. Just make it short.
It was those chilly spring days, Amy,
yeah.
because
There you
I
go.
actually had to. I worked at a construction project. Speaking of building homes and stuff, and went in there and helped the workers. So it'd be
Oh.
chilly at night sometimes. I had my corduroy shorts.
With knee-high socks. Well,
Amen, amen, sister.
Wow.
I was styling. I had game.
Oh, I believe that. I think you still do, Dave.
Yep.
Oh,
And
well,
what-
thank you.
Appreciate you as
Yes,
always.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Talk to you next week.
Dave Simons, partner and managing director of One Private Wealth, with us on KMOX.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
This is an important message for all parents of teens. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, and they have suffered from eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Disclosures by a Facebook whistleblower show Instagram and Facebook know their social media platforms were highly addictive and may have caused eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation. It appears these social media companies knew they had been causing serious harm to kids, but have done little to stop it. If your teen has been harmed by social media like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, then you could be eligible for significant compensation. If you'd like to discuss a lawsuit, text LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson, Media Advertising Specialists, LLC, is responsible for the content of this ad with principal offices in Chicago, Illinois.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
For 100 years, KMOX has been a part of St. Louis. Now, those moments live on, preserved, remastered, and ready to be heard again. Discover KMOX from the Archives, a podcast featuring classic audio from a century of service.
Sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
The KMOX from the Archives podcast, available now at KMOX100.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, St. Louis City SC fans, mark your calendars now. The Boys in Red return to Energizer Park to kick off Season 4 Saturday, February 21st. And you could be there for the dawn of a new golden era of St. Louis soccer. Go to stlcitysc.com/tickets and reserve your seat now for the MLS home opener versus Charlotte FC. Limited quantities remain. See you soon, St. Louis.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed only $59.99. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott, St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Thank you, St. Louis, for making Genesis of St. Charles your most trusted and #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2026. We know your time is valuable. That's why every purchase comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis Service Valet. Unlock your e-price and save. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. Or want something new? We'll bring the test drive to you. Visit genesisofstcharles.com today. Based on GMA sales records for 2025. See dealer for details.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
The Missouri Valley Conference men's basketball tournament has been the showcase for buzzer beaters, madness, and championship glory. With nearly 5 decades of heart-racing excitement, it begins here at Enterprise Center. The 2026 State Farm MVC Tournament, presented by Credit Union One, Great Southern Bank, and SSM Health, tips off on March 5th through 8th. Celebrate 50 years of the Valley's postseason championship. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
So you may have heard J.B. Pritzker in Granite City recently, and he was there to look at, there was the old Route 66. There's a nice little display. There's a park with a bunch of old neon signs that are Route 66 signs from businesses along the way. Pretty cool. And it's in this park right in downtown Granite City. And there's going to be an Abraham Lincoln statue that's going up there in granite, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so he was asked about a number of different things when he was in the area, talking about the Chicago Bears, who are trying to build a new stadium, and they've been threatening to go to Gary, Indiana. There's also Arlington Heights, which is a burb in Illinois. So there's an effort to keep them in the state, which has taxpayer implications. There's one to maybe move to Indiana, and we know that the Chiefs are leaving Missouri unless something happens. Most likely, unless something happens. And so our guy Mark Maxwell, good friend, he's a real poop disturber, and so he asked the governor about another team potentially moving to Illinois.
Right now, the owners of the Cardinals are saying, hey, Busch Stadium looks a little long in the tooth. Is there any world in which you would try to attract them to cross state lines into Illinois?
I am trying to attract businesses. We're all. I appreciate your asking the question. You said any world, like every world in which we are trying to attract businesses, and that includes teams, but businesses to the state of Illinois.
So.
You're right. He's a real blank disturber. What kind of question is that?
What is he trying to do?
What's he trying to do?
Our guy, Mark Maxwell at KSDK. I think he, look, why not? Ask the question. It's not a big deal. I think it's kind of funny. I can't ever see that happening. It's a little bit different than the Chiefs being brought to Kansas.
A little bit different.
Kansas giving all this money. And it's for multiple reasons. I don't think tradition matters to me as much. People like to go on that and say, well, you just can't take the Cardinals out of St. Louis.
I'm putting my foot down.
Okay, you can say that, but in the real world, if money is there, they would do it. If Illinois said, we will fully fund your stadium, you don't have to pay for anything, I don't care, man. Any owner is going to take that. They're going to say, hey, it's just right across the river. There's a bridge right there.
I would
You'll
be
fine.
so mad. I would go up and I'd kick the arch.
Okay, you could do that.
That would be the worst possible.
Of course it would, Amy.
We were having a fine Tuesday.
Of course it would.
Your buddy, Mark Maxwell. Oh, Mr. Pritzker, do you want the Cardinals? Well, of course he has to say yes. Why would he say no? Of course everybody wants the Cardinals.
I'm just telling you.
Now you've made me apoplectic.
Well, it's your fault.
No.
Regulate your emotions. Because I'm just telling you, a billionaire, you tell a billionaire, hey, buddy, you don't have to bring your team over here. We will. How much do you want your stadium to be? $3 billion? Yeah, we'll build you a $3 billion stadium for free. You don't have to do anything except play there.
I'm going to start a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
GoFundMe to keep the Cardinals in St. Louis. And in case anyone just turned this on, the Cardinals aren't going anywhere.
No, they're not going to. Because the state of Illinois, forget about the whole tradition of the Cardinals being downtown St. Louis, which is the best place for them, for tradition's sake. Forget about all that. The state of Illinois is not interested. As long as Pritzker's the governor, he is not interested in giving money to these sports teams. He doesn't want to give money to the Bears,
now,
which is a what, $7 or $8 billion franchise right now.
Yeah, he couldn't buy the Bears. Could he? Yeah, he could. Is Pritzker 14 billion or something?
Something like
'Cause we were
that.
talking about how wealthy these people
I'm
are.
saying he's not willing to give taxpayer
No.
money to the Bears.
I was just thinking of how yesterday we said even Taylor Swift couldn't buy a football team, which is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, she
What does
couldn't.
a girl got to do to buy a football
She'd
team?
barely be a minority owner in that.
Yeah, she's poor compared to Pritzker.
Jacob watching on YouTube says that they said all of this in the early aughts. Moving to Illinois was a threat the Cardinals used. I do vaguely
If you're
remember
in St.
that.
Louis, if you're St. Louis and you're livid right now, I'm right there with you. I might punch him during the commercial break.
Don't get mad at me. You'd be mad at the billionaires who are trying to take your tax money.
Yeah, but you were the messenger, and
No.
sometimes you got to
See,
punch the
that's
messenger.
that's where you all get wrong.
You
You're
won't.
wrong. You people who want to go after the messenger instead of the person who's trying to take your tax money, the billionaire, for a free stadium.
They said no.
Who?
The DeWitts.
They didn't say no. That's not what happened. That's not what happened.
Next on the Guest House game.
That's not what happened, dude. Yeah. You'd be mad at billionaires trying to take your money for a new stadium. And they all do it. Bears, give me a break. You guys kidding me? That's Amy Marks Scores. I'm Chris Ranji. The Billikens, they have just been playing great ball. They're
Why don't
awesome.
they go to Illinois?
Well, the university's here. You want to uproot the entire university?
Oh, for free.
Well, yeah, if they build them a whole new campus. Stu Durando is the author of the Stu on SLU Substack. He covers and has covered Billikens basketball for a long time, and he joins us next on KMOX.
Spring training is here, and Cardinals baseball is heating up in Jupiter as young talent and big expectations take the field. The Gas House Gang is talking Cardinals all day long. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji, Bernie Nicholas, smart takes, insightful analysis, real Redbird conversation, plus live reports from Camp Cardinals with Matt Pauley and Mike Claiborne. If it matters to Cards fans, it's on the Gas House Gang. Weekdays at noon on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Universal Windows Direct. Hopefully after 25 years together, you trust me that I only represent good companies. Universal Windows Direct is great. They have a great deal for the DGS audience. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. 0% interest for 36 months so you can spread out your payments, same as cash. Also, $500 off your home improvement project. 314-334-2522 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Now, KMOX weather from the Salika Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It is 65 degrees outside. That is Ranja's favorite temperature. And that is the high for today. Unless it gets hotter, then the high will be higher. It's plenty of sunshine today, partly cloudy, a low of 30 tonight.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait. And don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
St. Louis has a voice.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history.
Martin Luther King was killed by an assassin's bullet tonight.
From moment to memory.
It's a strike call! A no-hitter for Gibson!
Among those voices, Charlie Brennan.
Well, we've got lots to talk about, despite our listeners' letters to the contrary.
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Now Sharma, quick pop. Bang! Instant Sharma!
That's out, baby. It's 4 in a row, Albert.
Man, I can't even remember the last time the Billikens lost a game. I think it was
Stanford.
The 90s.
It was against Stanford.
Oh, so it wasn't the 90s?
No, but the more success they have this year, the more mad I am about that Stanford loss. Because that was kind of a fluky loss.
You're going to have those. Maybe that adversity helped springboard them to winning 1 million straight games, because that's where they are right now. And the Billikens will play again on Friday. 7:30 is the tip. We'll have the pregame show at 7:15 and the broadcast thereafter starting at that time. And then we'll have Rammer Earl Austin Jr. on the call. That is on Friday night against Loyola. Right now, Stu Durando is the author of the Stu on SLU Substack, has been covering the Billikens for quite some time and is with us now on KMOX. How's it going, Stu?
I am good. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're doing really well. Not as well as the Billikens are doing. How much fun is this team to watch compared to some of the other great Billikens teams we've seen?
They're pretty high on the, entertainment value besides the winning, going along with it. A lot of the teams I've covered at SLU going back, even if they were better SLU teams, were fairly low scoring teams. So, you'd see a lot of 65 to 61 games and things along those lines. I've lived through many of those. And so to see a team that scores in the 90s on average and, great 3-point shooting team, has 17-game win streak, it obviously has captured the city a little bit in terms of their success.
We'll just jump into this part of the conversation because Ron and I have talked about this with SLU being such a great team, ranked 18th now in the country, but Illinois obviously having a heck of a year. You get the conference debate of how would SLU do against Illinois? And Illinois fans say that SLU would get crushed, but also it's not SLU's fault if big teams like Illinois don't want to play them.
Yeah.
What's your conversation or your contribution to that conversation when you find yourself in the middle of it? Because you have to all the time.
So you mean in terms of just how they would fare against that type of power program team?
And your thoughts about those programs not wanting to play SLU because they have nothing to gain from it.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a problem for a long time, but it's really gotten to the point where, for instance, in Josh Hurts' 2 years at St. Louis, they've had trouble scheduling the power program teams. There's no question. Less and less they want to play teams like St. Louis unless they're really, really, really good or really, really bad. They want what are the quad 1 or the quad 4 games as they are in the rated in the NCAA net rankings. So they don't want to play a team that's, they're not quite sure how good they are. That could be a risk. And so SLU just couldn't get those teams the last few years. And, Josh Hurts has said since he got here that once they establish themselves, which they're now doing, that it might be easier to get games against the Big Ten or the Big 12 or the ACC because they're still a risk, but they're a higher level program to play. And they may not get those kinds of games at home, but they might get them on neutral floors. So that's the kind of thing that they're trying to build toward.
Speaking of the net, the Billikens today are 16 in that, which is a pretty good spot to be, despite the fact they've only got a couple of quad 1 games. They've won them both, and they've got a ton of those quad 4. They've got the most of
3s and 4s are plentiful.
Again, it's not really their fault so much. I mean, it's difficult to schedule, as we have been talking. When it comes to selection time, let's say they take one more loss before they get to the conference tournament, and then they end up losing in the conference tournament. So another 2 losses. So they finish with 3 on the season. How much does that ding them? And how much credit does the committee give them for not really being able to put together a significantly better non-conference schedule?
Well, the strength of schedule obviously is going to matter, and their strength of schedule non-conference wasn't very good. It's been, they've crept up through playing conference games. They do have a couple more games that are 1s and 2s, so that's good. But it doesn't help that, like, Dayton, which was expected to be a really good team, has fallen on hard times, and George Washington, which was a tough game here, they've lost 3 in a row since playing at SLU. So those things don't. But if they were to lose a couple more games, like you said, it depends on who they lose to. And, if they lose at Loyola, which is the lower level team in the conference, that would be some pretty bad news. If they lose a couple more games, though, they're probably still in the large picture, but their seeding certainly slips considerably. Right now, they're kind of considered a 6 or 7. And if you lose 2 or 3 games from here on out, you're falling, probably to a 9 or 10 type of range.
Stu, all the mean people are saying that SLU is going to lose Josh Schertz. Like, he's going to go somewhere else. I know. So where do you fall on that?
I wrote something today about that, and just some general comments from Josh on that situation. It's kind of an awkward, weird thing to talk about with him at this point, because I mean, he'll comment on anything, but there's nothing out there that's solid. It's not like when he was at Indiana State at the end of the season and people were talking about him being connected to SLU. He's not being connected to any specific programs yet. It's just way too early. People, fans and media are talking about specific programs that maybe will be after him, but there's nobody who's, he's talking to yet, or so he says. So, I think it's just going to depend. He's going to have offers. I don't think there's any question about that, but it's going to maybe depend on a few things, reading between the lines, what programs have openings. Just because it's a power program doesn't mean it's a better job than St. Louis. And then he talked a lot about just the things they need to do to upgrade and have the resources to continue to be on a trajectory upward moving forward. So, they're going to need more money at SLU for players and more money for assistant coaches and those things. So right now I think it's up in the air, and it's just going to, time will tell once we get toward the end of the season and start seeing what openings there are around the country.
Stu Durando covers the Billikens for Stu on SLU, the Substack you can subscribe to. We've got, and since we're asking bigger picture questions, why not ask about the Big East? Because Senator Eric Schmidt wrote a letter a couple of weeks ago saying that the conference should accept SLU to move into that conference at some point. I know the senator from Ohio, Husted, did the same thing for Dayton. Is that an actual reality that at some point St. Louis University could be in the Big East? And if so, would it be good for them?
It's been talked about for so long now that, you're not sure what to take serious, and, I don't know how much of an impact the letter from the senator has, in terms of the Big East saying, oh, yeah, well, we should definitely consider him because we got this letter. maybe they're on the radar, but I don't think there's anything imminent. It's not like they're going to be in the Big East next year. So yeah, it helps. You move up. You know, if you're in a league like that, there's a lot more money going around, TV money and that type of thing, which obviously helps in paying players, retaining players in this era we're in now. So yeah, it can only help. But they've been in the A-10 this long, and since, you know, they've been in the A-10, 20 years, and they've probably been talking about going to the Big East for the same 20 years. So nothing's happened yet. I don't think it's imminent.
So Loyola and then Rhode Island. It's a nice little road trip here for the Billikens. You mentioned Loyola is not especially good at the moment, but how important is this road trip?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't lost a true road game yet, which is pretty impressive. These are, I think they come home in between, so it's not an extended trip. But yeah, Loyola's kind of, you look at it as a dangerous team because they were supposed to be one of the top teams supposedly in the conference, and they're sitting at the bottom, and they've only got 6 or 7 wins. But I know they've had a lot of injuries, and there's some guys that are getting healthy who might be playing now that weren't a month ago. And then also they beat Santa Clara team that SLU had to go to the last possession to beat. So, you know, get results like that make you go, this might, you know, it's going to be a full house. I think the game is pretty much sold out up there. I don't know if a lot of St. Louis folks are going up or if that's mostly Chicago people, but anytime you go on the road in conference, it can be dangerous and strange things happen. So they need to be on top of their game. And they had a whole week to prepare. They didn't have a midweek game, which is probably good for them.
Stu Durando, read about the Billikens on the Stu on SLU Substack. It is very good, and Stu knows what he's talking about, so he's got all the insight for Billikens ball. We appreciate your time as always, Stu. Thank you for being with us.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words.
Stu Durando.
There you
Man,
go.
this Billikens team.
They're good.
Dude.
And they made it through the sickness.
Yeah, they had
They made it through the plague or whatever it was.
whatever it was. They had it. It's good. They're good. That was, you know what they do say, this is the best time of year to get that locker room flu if you're going to get it, so that you're ready to go.
Do they say that? That's a
No,
thing?
no one's ever said that.
Okay.
You don't ever want to get that.
I thought maybe it was a sports saying with which I was not familiar.
Yeah,
February is the best time to get the locker room flu.
Yeah, I would not recommend it.
Ugh.
Like ever. I actually don't even know precisely what it is they had. I just know that you were worried
I was
about.
worried I was going to get sick.
Let's
Because
see.
we
We
sat
sat with Robbie.
Yeah, for like 30 minutes. And then the next day, Robbie's sick. Isn't that the worst? When you spend a lot of time with someone and the very next day you find out they have like norovirus.
Oh, gosh. Well, anyway, there are limited tickets available for that game at Loyola. This is a nice weekend to go up to Chicago and hang out. Go have a good time. It's a Friday night game.
Mm-hmm.
Go buy those tickets. There aren't a whole lot left.
Well,
so if you want to.
Speaking of tickets.
What?
Keep listening to our show.
Yeah, we're going to have
You
tickets
might
to give away for
win
something.
yourself some.
For Zach Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, got to be listening for your chance to win those tickets on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Barnes Jewish Hospital and WashU Medicine physicians have long been leaders in heart and vascular care. Now, we're taking the patient experience to another level by opening our new state-of-the-art patient tower, designed specifically with heart patients in mind. By combining the latest technology with thoughtful design and private rooms, heart patients can experience faster healing, reduce stress, and improved outcomes. Learn more at barnesjewish.org/heart.
Every spring brings promises, and every spring delivers surprises. This year, the Cardinals are writing a new story, and there will be plenty of surprises. Matt Pauley is in Jupiter with inside access to Camp Cardinals.
Presented by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens and making memories. And Happy Roof. We always create happy endings.
From breakout performances to roster revelations, get reports throughout the day on the voice of the Cardinals. KMOX.
Presenting Again Fling's love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Hola, amigos! It's a big noise. Brad Evans from BetMGM tonight. Listen Monday through Friday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports as we cover the biggest sports stories from coast to coast. Get insights on the NFL playoffs, college basketball conference races, and more. Download the Odyssey app now and listen from anywhere. BetMGM tonight, live and interactive, presented by BetMGM. Tune in, Team Huevos.
When you've been injured in an accident, hurt on the job, or in a medical mishap, there are many reasons to call Morgan & Morgan. But here's reason number 5. We try more cases than anyone in America by a wide margin. We are on approximately 150 dockets a week and win a lot. Go to forthepeople.com to see our verdicts and results. I believe our results give you the best chance of a fair, fast, and just settlement. Insurance companies know who we are by reputation. Imagine me doing this ad if it wasn't true. They would be laughing. Trust me, nobody is laughing. Their employees and adjusters often hire us when they're hurt. They know, and now you know. All law firms are not alike, not even close. With over $30 billion collected for our clients, we became America's largest injury firm for a reason. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
2 St. Louis icons, 1 legendary tribute. Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and St. Louis City SC at Powell Hall on Sunday, February 15th for Eternal, a tribute to Tina Turner. Presented by Purina, with performances by special guests including conductor Anthony Parthener, Grammy Award-winning artist Brittany Howard of Alabama Shakes, and our city's own Kennedy Homes. This is your chance to experience the ultimate journey through Tina's immortal catalog. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at slso.org.
Wait, Corey from Air Comfort Service? What are you doing in my basement?
Standing behind our work.
It's 9 p.m.
At Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation, we take pride in our work. If you need heating service, no matter the time of day or night, we're here to help with 24/7 emergency service.
So you're just going to stand behind my furnace?
Yeah, pretty much.
Can you hand me those paper towels then?
Absolutely. For heating service or HVAC maintenance, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
City SC season is coming up here, baby cakes. Instead of saying baby, I'm graduating to baby cakes. That's what I'm calling all of our listeners. Baby cakes.
After the baseball team.
After the baby cake, the
New
Orleans baby cakes. Because, you know, it's Mardi Gras season. Mardi Gras big parade is this weekend, in fact. And there's king cake and the babies are in the cake.
So we encourage you, all of you working in corporate America, to start incorporating baby cakes into your communication with fellow coworkers. It will not be a problem.
No, it's perfectly. Who's going to get in trouble for that? Don't be a square. So, as we told you all week long, we are giving away tickets to see Zach Bryan, but we are also giving away the City and Yeti refillable Rambler for the 2026 City season, which is about to start February 21st. Well, Y98 will have the first game. And this is your opportunity to win one of those Ramblers. We were just talking about the Loyola Ramblers. Now we're talking about the City and Yeti Ramblers.
Which is a tumbler, kind of?
Yeah, it's
Is a Rambler
We
a
have
tumbler,
one, Amy.
But a Rambler is a tumbler with a
I think
handle.
the straw and a handle. I don't even know if that matters.
Because a tumbler has no handle.
But the City and Yeti refillable Rambler for the 2026 City season only. It's the only reusable drinkware with exclusive in and out privileges at Energizer Park. It is now available for sale in the City Pavilion, but we're going to give away one right damn now to caller number
7
to the contest line at 314-955-1120, 314-955-1120. You must be caller number 7 to win. If you miss out today, don't worry. You'll have an opportunity each day for the rest of the week.
But worry a little bit more each day because the odds of you winning
They decrease every day.
progressively, they decrease every day. And so you should probably, by Friday, you should be panicked.
Well,
that's your last day.
That's right.
I mean, if you're not panicked, you're not.
You should start panicking
Trying.
on Thursday.
Okay, Ranj, we have a text from a 314 that I think is giving us some critique, and I would like for you to read it.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This message from a 314, and please feel free to always text the show.
We
at
love when you text it.
314-436-7900. This message says, I've been listening for the past week and have noticed that both of you have used the words off-putting a lot. And they've spelled it off, O-F-F-P-U-D-D-I-N-G. Did you both mean to say off-putting, P-U-T-T-I-N-G? Let me read
That's
this
a
again.
sharp ear.
Let me read this again.
Read it again, please.
I've been listening for the past week and have noticed both of you have used the words off-putting a lot. Did you both mean to say off-putting? Bro, I need to know if this is a serious message. Are you really legitimately asking, or are you being funny? Because that is very, very funny. That's very funny.
Okay. Just from, because we've been talking a lot about texters. Oh my gosh, we got to tell people who we're having on tomorrow.
That's not confirmed yet.
Oh,
sorry. I thought it was.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Now, don't build it up because people are going to think it's like Zach Bryan or
No,
something.
It's going to be Tom Cruise, but he hasn't confirmed
Yeah,
yet.
no, we talked about Carissa Codell.
Yes.
From Springfield Branson News and how she was
The
reading.
anchor.
Yeah, the news anchor. And she was reading just really
All the mean messages she
mean
gets.
messages. So anyway, I would say there is a good chance that this person is being serious because I get a lot of texts correcting me with word choice or enunciation,
Mhm.
usually with a passive aggressive, you're more literate than that. Or someone should tell Amy because I
Yeah.
think she's more literate than that.
But
So
there's
maybe
something.
this is one of those people.
This is something they're very funny about.
I think it's hilarious.
It's very funny to ask if we're saying off-putting or off-putting.
Off-putting.
It's like saying,
Yeah.
are you saying minor or minor?
Yeah, that's great. Well, minor is in a cave and minor is
Shouldn't be in
A
a
young
cave. And if
person.
it is in a cave, then Elon has to come save you.
keep minors out of caves.
Wait. What kind of minors? The ones who are there for work? Or the ones who are there on a school trip and they get caught and then Elon says he has a way to save you? All right, so
Oh,
I need to know.
Now we have a texter who said a 217 says, wow, I find that text on putting.
Maybe they're
on pudding.
I found that text on pudding. Somebody please let us know. Please let us know if that is a real text message or not. Yes. Go ahead, Amy.
This is unbelievable.
Mhm.
618. Hey, Chris, I tried your joke when at a local coffee shop with my wife and two of her female coworkers. I said, Daddy's got it. The only one that laughed was the guy running the register.
Well, you're welcome because you got a reaction. That paid off.
He was with 3 women. Daddy's got it. Oh, gross.
That's awesome. Great job. Way to go, pal. You know what? You're the best.
Nice work.
All right, we're
nice work.
All right, so from here on out, that texter is known as Daddy.
Okay.
Daddy from where though? We need to know where you're from.
Yeah, can you text back and say Daddy from?
Yeah, and then that is your so. And every time you text in from here on
So
out, you're
good.
Daddy from wherever you're from. All right, way to go. Great job. Congratulations to Joe from Riverview, Missouri, who won the Yeti.
Nice.
The City and Yeti Refillable Rambler for the 2026 season. Congrats. Hey, we'd like to say happy birthday to somebody special or something special. And we will do that when we come back on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions. So it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than two? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. I want to tell you about 213 Complex, and you can pick that up at supplement superstores. And quite simply, 213 Complex is the most effective and powerful all-natural weight loss supplement ever developed. Here's what it's doing for me and what it'll do for you. Boosts the metabolism, gets it working at full go all the time. Helps with cravings, and man, that's a big deal for me. All-day focus energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. It's a great tool for achieving your goals. Get out to supplement superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They will knock 30% off your 213 Complex, and you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
When was the last time you watched your home movies?
Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for: their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. Magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, "Have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner." Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
Midwest winters take a real toll on your garage door. Let my friends at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis come out and perform their 26-point tune-up on your garage door and opener. The work is guaranteed, and it's just one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. No extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, since 1926, 100 years. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
It is 11 o'clock. It's 62 degrees with sunshine right now in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. A 26-year-old man from DeSoto is facing 17 and a half years in federal prison for distributing child sexual abuse material. Here's FBI Special Agent Chris Crocker.
Dylan James preyed on vulnerable children, using gifts to manipulate and sexually exploit them. That's a tactic all too common among predators. In these cases, there is no ambiguity. The children are the victims, and we will hold accountable those who are responsible.
James admitted to recording a sexual act with a 13-year-old girl and sexually abusing 2 other teens. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Department and St. Louis County Police investigated that case. The Trump administration expected this week to revoke a scientific finding that's been the central basis for U.S. action to regulate greenhouse gas emissions and fight climate change. The EPA will issue a final rule rescinding a 2009 government declaration known as the endangerment finding. Legal challenges are certain. Today's show host Savannah Guthrie pleading for the public's help at an hour of desperation in the search for her missing 84-year-old mother, Nancy, who's been missing since January 31st. The FBI has not identified any suspects or persons of interest. Shoppers unexpectedly pausing their spending in December from November, closing out the holiday shopping season and the year on a lackluster tone. Missouri is taking Dollar General to court, alleging deceptive and unfair pricing. Attorney General Catherine Hanaway says her office has completed more than 5,000 undercover buys at 179 stores.
We're going after Dollar General stores. The prices that they have marked on the shelves is not the same price that people are paying at the register.
The case is set to go to trial in July unless a settlement is reached. A new report reveals anti-Semitism is having a significant impact on how American Jews go about their daily lives.
More than half
of Jews in America changed their behavior out of fear of being the target of anti-Semitism.
American Jewish Committee St. Louis Director Nancy Lisker.
Something that never happened before. They are going into places, looking immediately for the exit.
The AJC survey also found that American Jews are changing what they wear, what events they attend, and what views they share online.
This is not the way any American, let alone any minority, should be living their daily lives.
Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
From the KMOX business desk, the latest retailer to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy is Eddie Bauer. The company will close its Seattle headquarters. There are about 180 brick and mortar locations, and some of those are expected to close. Eddie Bauer has stores at St. Louis Premium Outlets in Chesterfield and at the Galleria. A Midwest tire distributor shutting down after more than 90 years in business. All employees at Community Wholesale Tire in both Hazelwood locations will lose their jobs. Community Tire has 5 total locations around St. Louis.
A gorgeous afternoon with plenty of sunshine. It'll be quite mild, the high 64. Partly cloudy tonight and turning colder, low 29. Good deal of sunshine tomorrow, just not as warm, high 52. Thursday, mostly cloudy, perhaps an afternoon shower in spots, high 51. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, it is 62 degrees with sunshine. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Well, somebody's looking a little long in the tooth. You know what I mean? And by somebody,
I was short on time to get ready.
Not you,
Oh, sorry.
Amy. My God.
Well, I didn't have time to put on blush, which is the main piece of makeup I wear.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was just thinking that the city of St. Louis didn't put enough foundation on today because it is St. Louis's birthday. On this date, back in 1764, St. Louis became a city. So we wish it a happy birthday. And joining us today to discuss that, the president and CEO of the Missouri Historical Society, Jody Sowell, with us on KMOX. How's it going,
Good to
Jody?
see you. Good to see you. Happy birthday.
First of all, do I have to wish happy birthday to somebody who did not get me a gift for my birthday?
St. Louis has given you plenty of gifts
Thank
over
you.
the years.
Oh,
Jody,
tell me more.
See, this
Tell
is
me
why
more,
they
Jody.
pay you the big bucks. Mr. Selfish over
Yeah,
here.
right.
Taking for granted what this fine
Look
city
at this
gives you every
view
day.
that you get.
That is what a great view.
Beautiful.
You're right. Dead trees and
Come on. You can see
There's
Soldiers
a-
Memorial
Soldiers
from
Memorial?
here.
there's a man sleeping in the park.
The eternal flame.
Oh, the Eternal Flame,
Yeah.
which I didn't even notice was there for I don't know how
Well,
long.
it's behind a pole for you.
That's right. It is. So, what sort of special stuff do we do for St. Louis on its birthday?
So this weekend we are starting a new annual tradition to go big on that celebration. So Saturday and Sunday we have a lineup of music and pop-up history lessons and plenty of shopping and food and just 2 days of St. Louis love on Valentine's Day.
So February 14th is St. Louis's birthday.
Yeah, there's a little bit of disagreement on that. So some people say it's actually February 15th, but historically, St. Louis is celebrated on the 14th, which seems like a good day to do it.
Should just be on Three Flags Day.
Yes.
This guy loves Three Flags
I love
Day.
Three Flags
Three
Day.
Flags Day
I
is
think it's
great.
super. That's in March.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm a lifelong St. Louisan. When people say, "Have you lived your whole life?" I say, "Not yet," but working on it. But
That's a real Charlie Brennan thing to say. Kind of.
is it?
Yeah, a little
well,
bit.
I learned from the best.
Yeah.
I also learned from a guy who was on his way out the door, which apparently my boss said is bad. Like, don't learn your
He had
cues.
senioritis.
Well, don't
Yep.
learn your cues from a guy who's retiring because he doesn't have a lot to lose. At any rate, I've lived in St. Louis my whole life. I didn't know February 14th, Valentine's Day, was St. Louis's birthday. We do
Yeah.
have to play this up more because if
Yeah.
I didn't know it,
Absolutely. And, it's a good excuse to celebrate all things St. Louis. And we hope that it kind of, we've started the last few years really celebrating 314 Day. We figure let's kick it off on St. Louis's birthday and then just have a month-long celebration culminating in 314 Day.
So all the events, are they inside and outside the History Museum or just inside?
Yeah, so this year is all inside. Like I said, this is something that we hope will become an annual tradition. So we do hope to expand it over the years, become like one of those great winter markets that you see in other cities. So so it's getting off to a big start this year, but it's going to get even bigger.
So you did talk about other cities that sort of blow it out for their birthdays more frequently. Did you look at anything specific that other towns did? Because clearly we celebrate different things in this city. We have different, history than a lot of other places. So were you able to take cues from other markets?
I don't know that we really looked at other cities because we want to do what's right for St. Louis. So, there'll be concerts about Miles Davis and Chuck Berry. And so, other cities aren't lucky enough to have Miles Davis and Chuck Berry.
Yeah, I mean, that's unbelievable. You talk about the live music, and it could be brass bands, string trios, narrated concerts. Yeah. Is there a good place where people can find the schedule of events?
Absolutely. So if you go to mohistory.org, so mohistory.org, you will find the full lineup there. We started, the weekend actually kicks off with something that's already sold out. So I hesitate to mention it, but on Friday night, we're going to have a T-Rav remix. And so local chefs of all sorts are going to come do their version of toasted ravioli. So even though it's sold out, I think you could still get on a wait list. But even though it's sold out, I think it shows you the spirit of what we are trying to create with this weekend celebration.
So where is that exactly?
So that is also at the History Museum there in Forest Park.
Yeah, we'll be indoors, obviously.
Yes.
Well, I did so much Christmas shopping at the Missouri History Museum because I am super embarrassed to admit how recently I discovered that shop that's in the History Museum. And it's not like, oh, here's a couple of hats or shirts that said, I visited the Missouri History Museum. You have local artists and authors, and you have niche clothing, which I say this because I bought my mom a Famous Bar t-shirt, which I love, like, stuff that St. Louisans would appreciate, or jewelry, beautiful pictures. There's so much there.
You don't have to be embarrassed because we just reopened that store a couple of years ago. Okay. So it's called Sold on St. Louis. But to your point, we wanted to create something like no other museum has in a gift shop. We wanted a shop that wasn't just talking about us or talking about the exhibits, but that was really showcasing all things celebrating St. Louis and made in St. Louis. It includes more than 300 local vendors, many of whom have only shown their stuff at farmers markets or art festivals, never been in a brick and mortar store. So couldn't be more proud of that shop. It'll be open all weekend for you to get your St. Louis gear to wear proudly on birthday weekend.
As you know, I don't think in St. Louis we do a very good job of celebrating our good stuff. I don't think we have as much pride as we should. And it's that, for a number of different reasons that's gone away. And there's a new campaign called I Am St. Louis. Would you like to tell people about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the past 3 years or so, we have been doing a presentation called I Am St. Louis, and I Don't Believe We've Met. And it basically tells you these stories, to your point, that are really inspirational. I'm the place where women could have gotten to vote 50 years earlier. I'm the place with the oldest black high school west of the Mississippi. I'm the place with the oldest bridge on the Mississippi. I'm the place that sent men into space. And then we tell these stories. And I have been speaking for the Missouri Historical Society for 20 years. I have never seen a presentation go over like this, but it's because of what you're saying. People are hungry for that local sense of pride. And whenever we would do the presentation, people would come up and with tears in their eyes or say, this gave me goosebumps. But what most people said is, we should make this the region's campaign. So in September, we did just that. We said, here, I Am St. Louis graphics that you can use on your own website or on your own banners. Brentwood right now has light post banners that say "I am St. Louis" in Brentwood, which is an important part of pushing regionalism. We have videos and pop-up exhibits and the presentation, and all of these things are things that any company, any organization can use on their own. They don't even have to give us credit. It's just getting that pride out there.
So is it now the official position of St. Louis City that if you're from Chesterfield, it's okay to say you're from St. Louis?
It is okay. I don't know if anyone needed permission, but it is okay.
Oh, I mean, they do it, but we are.
You're from Granite City.
I don't say I'm from St. Louis. I say I'm from Southern Illinois.
We are the St. Louis
Southwestern
region.
Illinois.
We are the St. Louis region. I absolutely loved. More than 300 businesses and organizations have told their own I Am St. Louis story. And I love the ones that are I Am Clayton, I Am St. Louis, I am the St. Charles Chamber of Commerce. I am St. Louis. That's how we've got to start thinking. And that's where that pride will come from when we all think of ourselves as St. Louisans.
Clayton, the Manhattan of the suburbs. That's what they call it.
There's
they?
a t-shirt. There's a t-shirt.
Amy.
So
Amy
it only
has a-
takes one person.
She has a tendency to have one friend who says something like, everybody calls it.
I know many people who call it the Manhattan of the suburbs.
I've never heard that, but
Just because you're the Missouri History Museum doesn't mean you know everything.
That's right.
What do you know about history?
Yeah, sorry. You're right. It's your house. I was wrong. Well, I oftentimes start presentations by saying, one historian has said that St. Louis is the most fascinating city in the country. And then at the end, I admit, that one historian is me, but still, that counts.
This
Still
guy
one historian.
gets
Yep,
it.
that's
That guy
right.
gets it.
Fantastic.
Hey, with people who need yet another reason to go to the Missouri History Museum, the Mill Creek exhibit, is that still up?
So that is still up. You can certainly see it this weekend. It will be open through July of this year. An amazing show about, a neighborhood that some people called the Harlem of the Midwest, and was raised in the name of urban renewal in the late 1950s. 20,000 African Americans displaced. A tough story, a hard story. When I was teaching urban history, this is a story that most cities have an example of this, but not at the scale that St. Louis did. But what I love about that exhibit is it's not at all depressing or heavy. It's really inspirational about the people who made a home in this neighborhood, who led businesses, who formed community. And one of my favorite things about that exhibit is you will see people who lived in Mill Creek standing in there and telling everyone their own personal stories. It's one of those great things about doing local history.
We talked about it.
We spoke with an author.
Yeah, a couple of months ago. There's a marker or a monument outside Energizer Park, which is in about the area, the edge of it, of where Mill Creek Valley used to be.
Which is a perfect, I think, tie-in with I Am St. Louis.
It is.
Mill Creek is such a big part
And
of
it's-
our history.
I said this to Amy that when we were talking about it several weeks ago, that when I grew up, I didn't know about it. We didn't talk about it. We weren't taught about it. And that's kind of a big deal that neighborhood was there and it was all gone.
We have heard from people who said, I think I lived in that neighborhood, but didn't realize the whole story. And, it's one thing that I talk about when I teach at SLU. I'm oftentimes teaching students who live their whole lives in St. Louis, and I will ask them, have you ever heard of Pruitt-Igoe, for example? And I'll get one hand.
Yeah.
Not tell me anything about it. Just have you ever heard of it? It's the same thing when we do the I Am St. Louis presentation. I hear so many people come up and say, I never knew that story. I never knew about these people. Well, you can't be inspired by the giants whose shoulders you stand on if no one's ever introduced you to those giants. So that's one thing we're trying to do through all of these efforts.
So there's a big weekend coming up this weekend, the 14th and 15th, events starting at 10 a.m. on Saturday. There are events starting at noon on Sunday. And it's a big weekend in St. Louis. Grand Parade Day here for Mardi Gras. All of this is going on. You'll be giving a presentation in the afternoon on Saturday, yes?
Oh, that's true. So I will be giving the I Am
Did
St.
I
Louis
just remind you?
presentation. You did a little, but that's okay.
Okay.
I need
Are
to
you-
get those slides
Are you
over.
prepared?
I am prepared.
Okay.
Production wants those slides, so thank you for reminding me.
They told me to remind
Oh,
you.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously.
So everything, if people want to go and find all the information, again, the website.
Everything at mohistory.org, and everything this weekend is free.
Jody Sowell, the president and CEO of the Missouri Historical Society. We appreciate you coming in.
Good to see you always.
Thank you for spending the birthday with us.
Yes.
Absolutely.
At least part of the
I'll
birthday.
see you Saturday and Sunday.
We'll
That's
see you there.
right.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
We can be twinsies.
to
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank NA, member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
St. Louis has a voice.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history.
This is Harry Carey from the beautiful new Busch Memorial Stadium.
From moment to memory.
Cardinal football on the move.
Among those voices, Bob Hamilton.
When I was in high school, I decided I wanted to go to radio.
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Join us on February 15th at Powell Hall as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and St. Louis City SC brings us Eternal, a tribute to Tina Turner, presented by Purina, with special guests Brittany Howard of Alabama Shakes and Kennedy Holmes. Experience the ultimate journey through Tina's immortal catalog. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at slso.org.
The Humane Society of Missouri's 5th Annual Day of Giving is going on now, a day dedicated to sharing the true rescue stories of animals saved from abuse and neglect. Watch and make a difference by donating at hsmo.org/dog. That's hsmo.org/dog.
100 years, one legendary voice. We live KMOX's century of service. Classic audio, photos, videos, and more at KMOX100.com.
On the Chris and Amy show, we give away stuff. We just gave away a City and Yeti Rumbler. It's a Rambler,
It's
actually.
a Rambler.
We're rumbling. and Ramblin' too.
A Rambler's like a tumbler with a handle.
Mm-hmm. And we're giving away those City Yeti Ramblers all week long, but you missed your chance today. But you have not missed your opportunity to win tickets to see Zach Bryan at the Dome at America Center March 7th. It is presented by AEG, and this is your opportunity to win a pair of tickets for that. Are you excited? Yes, you are.
I can't believe we're giving away Zach Bryan tickets.
You can't?
That's awesome.
He's very popular.
He's extremely popular. Not that Barry Manilow wasn't popular, but we gave away those tickets too.
We need caller number
8
to the contest line at 314-955-1120, 955-1120. Caller number 8 will win those Zach Bryan tickets. Best of luck to you.
That's impressive. That's going to be fun. Good luck to all of you.
Also, thank you to our texter for checking back in with us, who used the My Daddy line when he was buying coffee for his wife and her coworkers. I think it was her coworkers, right?
It was two female friends or coworkers.
Two friends, yeah. And so we asked him where he's from. Daddy is from Centralia.
Hey, Daddy from Centralia. If you text in again, that's how you always have to identify yourself.
I think he's got to go by Centralia Daddy.
No, that's pretty good.
Old CD's checking in.
Centralia Daddy.
Yeah, Centralia Daddy. Who said his wife just looked at him like, really? Why would you say that? I'm telling you, I think it's a great bit. It is a great bit.
He oh my gosh. You get coffee. He walks up and says, Daddy's got it, loud enough for everyone to hear. And then he makes direct eye contact with the barista.
Mm-hmm. I think it kills just about every time. This message says, my all-time favorite pronunciation debate is fairy versus fairy.
Oh, see, we had a texter say that we use the phrase off-putting a lot. And what we really mean to say is off-putting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we don't know if they were
sharp ears.
Don't know if he was being serious or not.
You know what I realized? Do you know what I just realized? We never would have gotten a text like this a couple of years ago, but we're getting it now because of that FM, that clear FM.
Oh my God, it's so crystal clear.
It's so crystal clear that they can tell we're saying off-putting instead of off-putting.
We are on 104.1 FM. If you didn't know that, you should have known that. We still have 1120. Also, the Odyssey app. That is a great way to listen to us, listen to the podcasts, listen to Cardinals baseball. Yeah, you can listen to spring training baseball whenever we're airing games. You can listen to the regular season, the playoffs, if they make it there. You can listen on your Odyssey app, and it's totally free. Get it on your phone, AUDACY, Amy.
We have another texter that says, I'm a little put off by that last texter.
Put off, P-U-T?
Yes, not pud off.
Okay. I don't think it's pud.
It could be.
And I don't think you can say that.
Matthew, when was the last time you had pudding?
I had a cup of figgy pudding over Christmas, of course.
No, you did not.
No, I did not.
What is figgy pudding?
Nobody knows.
All right.
It's a Christmas dish, I think. I think I probably last had a pudding cup when I was in 6th grade.
Do you know what the
chocolate pudding cup?
One of the side effects of Bill Cosby being a creep is that we lost the pudding pops. Have you seen a Jell-O pudding pop in a store anytime in the last 15 years?
So I've never had a pudding pop.
You haven't?
Are they frozen?
Yes.
Nope.
Oh.
I've had pudding where you make the pudding yourself.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, don't sleep on pudding.
A pudding is great. Have you had it,
I've
Matthew?
not.
Oh my gosh. Frank Ladd, I bet you've had a Jell-O pudding pop. He says yes. They were wonderful. Then they had the pudding swirl. It was the vanilla and the chocolate together. Those used to be a delicious snack.
They are very good.
Congratulations to Jeff from Crystal City, who gets to go see Zach Bryan in March at the Dome at America Center. Don't worry, folks. If you missed out today, you will have an opportunity to win those tickets tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. Same thing for the City and Yeti Rambler.
And as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, Ron, do you know what's always in the headlines?
The president.
Oh, yeah. Well, something else. Data centers.
Data centers.
So it's a huge deal, and it's affecting all of us. St. Charles, Franklin County, St. Louis City, St. Louis County, Jefferson County. And I know my initial reaction is, a sterile monstrosity of the future.
Mhm.
Like, I just don't like it. But a lot of people I respect and admire are pro data centers, basically saying you need to adapt or die. And while I would say, well, then I'll just die, that's not really a great approach for a city to take. So there was a new proposal. Remember how there was this offer to make the Armory, the old gathering space, into a data center, which that was off-putting, right? Because you take a gathering space.
Got a lot of pushback,
and you
even
turn
by
it-
us.
a lot by us, to a data center. Well, there was a new proposal that would turn the Armory into like an office space
Mhm.
and then use the old Famous Bar / Macy's warehouse
Right next door.
for the data center. And there are a few more ideas that would go around that proposal and some regulation to help protect the people in that Midtown area. And Alderman Thomas Oldenburg wrote a letter to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch addressing the new proposed data center, the new proposal, and advocating for it. And we are going to talk with him next.
We are going to talk to him next. And you mentioned St. Charles. They were supposed to have a vote today on the potential banning of data centers. That vote has been pushed back a couple of months now because some business leaders and some developers, they convinced the city not to hold off and let's get and collect more information. So that's what's happening in St. Charles. That vote today is not going down. So we'll talk to Thomas Oldenburg about this one particular data center that Amy mentioned right in the heart of Midtown. That is next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. There are real things to talk about amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And I hope you'll tune in and join the happy hour.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Dave. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free and 0% financing for 36 months, plus $500 off your project. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Now, KMOX weather from the Salika Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Guys, they're moving the goalposts. It's 68 degrees right now, which means the high is now 68 degrees. By golly, we could hit 70.
So close.
Wow. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 30.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey. I'm joined by my friend and St. Louis real estate expert, Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, everyone knows you for your guaranteed sold program, but you also help your sellers get multiple cash offers, right?
That's right. Some sellers are looking for speed, certainty, and to avoid repairs and open houses. I just helped a family in December to sell their parents' estate. They chose me because I offered 4 cash offers at our first meeting, which gave them options picking the best cash offer. Whether it's multiple cash offers or my guaranteed sold program, my sellers are always in control to sell fast and for the most money. It's my guarantees and my buyers in waiting program that set me apart from other realtors.
If you're ready to make your move without the hassles, guaranteed, call Gloria Liu right now at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
This is an important message for all parents of teens. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to social media sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, and they have suffered from eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Disclosures by a Facebook whistleblower show Instagram and Facebook know their social media platforms were highly addictive and may have caused eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation. It appears these social media companies knew they had been causing serious harm to kids, but have done little to stop it. If your teen has been harmed by social media like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, or YouTube, then you could be eligible for significant compensation. If you'd like to discuss a lawsuit, text LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232, LEVEL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson, Media Advertising Specialists, LLC, is responsible for the content of this ad with principal offices in Chicago, Illinois.
Are you turning 65 or new to Medicare? Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinals spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season.
Listen for Matt's Reports Daily. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting and Happy Roof on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
A proposed data center in Midtown, still a possibility. There had been one proposed for the Armory sites right there where the Armory is. And if you had been in that building over the last several years, it was turned into more of an event space. There were bars inside. There was a stage. They had shows and all kinds of stuff. Well, it's been closed now for a while. And, of course, there are people trying to figure out what to do with it and the space next door to it, which used to be that famous bar Macy's warehouse building. To talk about a proposed data center and a letter that he wrote in favor of it is Alderman here in St. Louis, the 2nd Ward Alderman, Thomas Oldenburg, who joins us on KMOX. Good to talk to you, Alderman. How are you?
I'm doing swell. How are you guys?
We are also doing swell, I think. And Amy and I have sort of been... I am not fully against the idea of data centers completely. Mm-hmm. I think location matters a lot. I think the kind of data center that goes in matters, and what the strains on the community will be in terms of water, electricity, the cost that people are going to incur for it. And I know people are worried about that. You are in favor of this current proposal. Tell us why.
Yeah, I certainly am. I think, and you summed it up as well, but I think to start, it's worth putting the entire conversation around data centers and high-tech economic development strategy in proper context. I would agree with you that it is a case-by-case basis. The location does, in fact, matter, and the type of data center, right? And I feel like at the moment, the conversation in general throughout the country, right? Other communities are grappling with this. The conversation tends to be fear-driven on both sides of the argument, right? A fear of missing out on high-tech economic development that grows jobs, grows economies, and puts a community on the right path. And the hyper-utility costs, the environmental concerns, the local impacts that may be on the actual construction and operation of the center. I welcome this opportunity to move the conversation forward. I am in favor of the Armory Site Data Center, along with my colleague whose ward it is in, Alderwoman Laura Keys, chiefly for one main reason is that I think they heard the initial proposal, they being the community, stakeholders, business community, heard the original proposal, and a conversation happened, and a new proposal got submitted that will attract Class A creative office space in what is the existing kind of building. And that conversation with the community allowed the proposers to pivot towards a new location for a long vacant, famous bar warehouse just west of the Armory, which I applaud at that. I think also the concerns are being addressed, and there should be conversations around water usage, electricity usage, its impact on the grid. All those can be addressed on a case-by-case basis, which I think the proposers of this project have done with offering a closed loop and air-cooled system that greatly reduces water usage, and integrating noise mitigation measures that weren't there, quite frankly, before, and should be included when you're talking about a data center of this size, which is still smaller compared to the larger ones that are proposed around the region. So this data center does sort of address those components. And the absolute takeaway for me is the job creation associated with this, and setting us on a right path for economic development execution in the future. So much needed sales tax revenue comes into the city. A lot of people think the city is sort of flush with cash, and we are, but one-time cash that's going to be quickly spent on infrastructure and one-time expense. And in 4 or 5 years, the city is going to be stretched very thin because we're losing population. Businesses aren't necessarily static in the community, and they're moving. We're not growing as a city. So having a large scale operator like this provides a steady supply of tax revenue to continue to provide services to the people and the residents of St. Louis.
I do want to talk about the tax revenue just for perspective here right now. We spoke with city planning executive Miriam Keller yesterday, and she was talking about some of the proposals for more regulations when it comes to data centers here in St. Louis, and how there are already about a dozen data centers here that are smaller in scale, and that regulation and maybe concerns come in when it's depending on the size, as you mentioned, small, medium, and then those large ones that you see in more rural areas. So just to clarify, in the Macy's warehouse building in this proposal where the data center would be, does that classify as medium, large? How would you classify that one?
Yeah, I believe, and again, we're all sort of becoming data center experts, but it is a medium to small compared to the hyperscale, to the enterprise, and to what they call the edge, which is the very small facilities that typically are in densely populated areas and exist on like telecom towers, et cetera. So this is squarely medium to small is how I would classify it.
So the data center that we are talking about on the Armory site, the concerns that people have when it comes to the water usage, the electricity, those are concerns you believe will be addressed. Yeah. And what I'm wondering, though, is if, the data center that ends up being built and that will be years from now before it's actually finished, if it does start to actually extract more resources than projected, or the costs do go up for the people who live or own businesses around that area, what sort of recourse will they have?
Yeah, well, that becomes hard to litigate and to prove. So that's why it's incredibly important that the city put forward, and it can't be much later, that the city put forward the proper safeguards to assume that we're making an informed decision here where that doesn't happen. So, with respect, this project's different. The approval apparatus is different at this point because it's sort of controlled by a Midtown redevelopment authority and not the city at large, right? So the approval process is different because of the government structure that's specific to Midtown. But I would argue that the city is taking prudent steps, putting in place up front, right? Let's mandate water efficiency. That's a potential safeguard for sure. Let's assume that the electricity consumption safeguards are in place too, so you aren't impacting ratepayers. So one thing that you can do is you can have sort of a tariff structure where they call it ring-fenced ratepayers. So regulators implement a tariff structure to protect residents from, subsidizing the large cost of this. For example, if you're a special high rate user, you have to cover that proportional impact to the grid. So the cost is on the operator, and that gets stretched out in out years of rate paying so that you're not impacting residents. In this particular circumstance, if for some reason rates wildly go out of control and there is a causation to this data center, which again I think is really hard to sort of prove and say, I guess there would be legal recourse that folks would have to take, but you'd have to prove that, right? It's a matter of this particular data center. So that gets really just hard, I think, which just drives the fact all the more important to have a good set of safeguards implemented upfront, and that whereby everybody's on the same page. So community engagement and transparency is the lead blocker in that entire conversation, Chris.
You mentioned taxes and economic benefits, kind of in layman's terms. Could you lay out a few of those benefits that the city would receive with taxes and the surrounding economy?
Sure. Well, I mean, all in, this is a $3 billion local investment that's going to involve over 1,000 construction jobs, right? So the multipliers are effect already. You talk, a few thousand construction jobs over a 3 or 4 year period. They're all buying groceries. They're all spending discretionary income. So the local economy gets a shot at that. So sales tax revenues collected just from workers having more income because of a pretty large scale job. In general, there's property taxes. There's property taxes that flow to the city, and property taxes, quite frankly, this isn't discussed enough, will go to the public school system. Over $100 million of this project has been estimated that over $200 million will flow to the public school system. And then, you have another $100 million or so to local taxing districts that exist. So that's all money that the city will collect and utilize, quite frankly, that it's not subsidizing or giving a break to continue to pour back into, safeguarding future uses such as this, so that everyone's on the same page, and also providing critical services around public safety, job creation, economic development, and the like.
So is that because I know we've seen other things in the past that were proposed, and the money will go to schools once this is done. That's a guarantee that the tax money will be filtered toward public schools? Yes, it is. In fact, right now the estimate is the projections indicate and certainly present that this new development will generate up to $485 million. And based on state law and how taxing districts work, over $230 million will flow to the public schools as a result of this over the years. So that's a good amount of money for sure.
Well, thank you for the information, because like I said, I think emotionally, aesthetically, my gut reaction is to push back against the data centers, because I always picture the big rural monstrosities, but not all data centers are alike. And like you said, it really is a case by case basis here, which I think is important when you are weighing the benefits and risks of having a data center, but also the risks of not having one, which could leave you behind.
You got it. And we just need to keep having the conversation, push it forward more. People tend to get into their social media feeds, trench, and then we're just lobbing back and forth, fear at one another. And that's just not the case. It's not the case with economic development strategy. It's not the case that or the mindset we should have for the region at whole. And I think you nailed it there, Amy. I mean, it is a case-by-case basis. Data centers aren't the boogeyman, but at the same time, they need to be good neighbors if they're going to come into our community and put us on that high-tech superhighway that I think we all want.
Alderman, good to talk to you. Thank you for giving us time today.
You bet. Appreciate you guys.
That is Alderman Thomas Oldenburg, Ward 2. So if you live in St. Louis Hills or Boulevard Heights or Bevo, there's a pretty good chance you're represented by Thomas Oldenburg. And I think I'm a little more pro data centers than you are. They're parts of
I think I'm just
the whole reality of it.
Mine's the fear of the unknown.
Yeah, and it to me, it's not that. It is look, I really don't want resources or costs to be a problem for people who live near them, right? But I know they're inevitable. I know we need to have them. And I think the environmental costs are a problem too. So hopefully the people who are building these, proposing these, developing them, hopefully they know what they're doing, man.
Sounds like,
that's all we can really say about it.
It sounds like size matters when it comes to data centers.
And that's the only thing. Literally nothing else. Unless maybe you're in the NBA, then you need to be kind of tall.
Or a jockey, and you need to be short.
That's right. Hey, would you like to know why betting the Winter Games on FanDuel makes sense? Well, let me tell you why. From game lines to medal counts, America, hopefully they win a bunch, to finding your angle on the event you care about the most, FanDuel is giving you more ways to stay connected to the action because the Winter Games fully underway, and there's been a lot that has been going on so far, and there is no better way to follow it than with a bet on FanDuel. So we've got curling matches, speed skating, hockey, whatever it is that you are into, whatever it is you're comfortable with, or maybe you just want to play around a little bit, you can do that. What do you think? Which country is going to have the most goals to brag about? The most gold medals or most total? Whatever it is you're looking at, they've got it for you on FanDuel. How about betting ski jumping? Yes, that is a thing that you can do. Snowboarding. One of the other high-profile events is figure skating. You can get in on that action as well. Bet it all on an easy-to-use and secure app. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Get yourself started. That is FanDuel.com/Missouri. And get started. Just because football's over, that does not mean there's not another way to get in on some action. FanDuel is the official sports book of KMOX. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Two St. Louis icons, one legendary tribute. Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and St. Louis City SC at Powell Hall on Sunday, February 15th for Eternal, a tribute to Tina Turner. Presented by Purina, with performances by special guests including conductor Anthony Partner, Grammy Award-winning artist Brittany Howard of Alabama Shakes, and our city's own Kennedy Homes. This is your chance to experience the ultimate journey through Tina's immortal catalog. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at slso.org.
Dreaming of college but worried about the cost? The Together Foundation is here to help. The Together Foundation is awarding 5 $1,500 scholarships to St. Louis area students who are ready to take the next step toward their future. Applying is simple, but time is limited, as applications will be accepted through March 31st. Learn more or apply at togethercu.org/scholarship. That's togethercu.org/scholarship. This community message has been brought to you by Together Credit Union.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Every spring brings promises, and every spring delivers surprises. This year, the Cardinals are writing a new story, and there will be plenty of surprises. Matt Pauley is in Jupiter with inside access to Camp Cardinals.
Presented by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens and making memories. And Happy Roof. We always create happy endings.
From breakout performances to roster revelations, get reports throughout the day on the voice of the Cardinals. KMOX.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed only $59.99. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott, St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
If you're one of those people who says, games are too expensive, I don't want to go to a Cardinals game, it costs too much money. Well, guess what?
I think I know.
Guess what, baby cakes?
No.
Today, a flash sale is happening. Cardinals.com/flash sale. What?
Okay, I know it's Mardi Gras, but not that kind of flash sale. Just like,
this has nothing to do with beads.
yeah, it's not that kind of flash sale.
No.
Keep
This
it tucked
is
in.
a flash sale means it's just a very short period of time. So until 9 o'clock tonight, you can go to cardinals.com/flash sale. And there are $6 tickets for Monday through Thursday games. And there are certain other series that you can get. And they load up a
Cardinals cash, $6.
Right?
So like it's a $6 ticket loaded with $6 cards, $6 of cards cash, which basically means the ticket is free.
Yeah, kinda.
I think literally.
Yeah. If you end up using that $6, then you've gotten yourself a free ticket.
You could see the Mets, the Guardians, the Brewers, the Pirates. Who do you want to see, Ranj? Tell me. I'll tell you if you can see them.
Do I want to see? I want to see the Brewers.
Yeah, but I said that already. That's
I want to see
cheating.
the Mets.
No, Ranj.
How about the Guardians? Are they on the list? Cardinals.com/flash sale. Go there and look for tickets.
Wow, the Cubs series is on this sucker.
What about the Cubs? Are they in it?
They are.
Awesome.
You're never going to believe if the San Francisco Giants are there.
The Giants?
Yeah.
Well, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? This is the time to strike. Cardinals.com/flash sale.
We will be continuing our conversation about data centers over forever, probably, but weeks and months. We do have a couple of people who have texted in that are skeptical. Like, is the money really going to go to the schools? Is it really going to go to the city? One person said this feels like the stadium argument all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Another, it will pay for itself. Money will go to the schools. Just let us do what we want. Wait.
That's being sarcastic. That is a sarcastic text. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
It'll pay for itself. Money will go to schools. Just let us do what we want.
I get it. I read the third part. I read it in real time, which is always a dangerous thing to do with texts. You should never not scan it first. And I didn't scan. I failed to scan.
I just scan them for bad words first, and then I go back and read them. But I think that, this is it's a reality that we're just going to have to live with. If you are against data centers in general, it is unavoidable because everything is artificial intelligence now, and that takes up so much data. And look, I complained about the Netflix documentary that used an AI victim.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even a real person they interviewed in this documentary. And I'm just so put off by it.
It's off-putting.
But that's our reality. And you know what? We need data centers to make fake Sarah.
Okay, 1618 says it's property taxes. It literally goes directly to the schools, like the property taxes you pay on your house.
There you go. Question answered.
So a 618, well, unless there's,
More questions.
carve-outs.
Oh, carve-outs. There could be some
I don't
carve-outs.
know.
I hate carve-outs, unless they're for me. Listen, we appreciate you for doing just that, listening to this show on the Odyssey app. If you want to go back and get the podcast, it's all there for you. KMOX.com, Odyssey app, iHeart app, or wherever you get your podcasts. We will be back tomorrow at 9. But we've got the Gas House Gang next. Bernie Miklas and me, Chris Ranji, Matt Pauley will check in from Cardinals spring training, which starts this week officially. He'll be with us right at the top of the show. The Gas House Gang is next on KMOX. Daddy is from Centralia.
Hey, Daddy from Centralia.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by